TMITV audiobook. The ship quieted, lanterns dimmed to warm golden glows drifting across the galley walls. Outside, distant thunder grumbled from the tempest crown. But inside, something else stirred, something far more dangerous than any storm. Hunger. The kind that could turn even the calmest navigator into a sea demon. Nami slammed her hands on the kitchen counter. Sanji. Dinner. Now. Rovina stood beside her, elegant as always but with a gaze like a predator stalking prey. I second this request. I haven't eaten since, well, before the assassins attacked us. Kobe peeked from behind them. See, can I have something too? I mean only if you're cooking anyway. Sanji smirked and flicked his lighter open with one hand. I see. So this is a hostage situation. Nami leaned in. You fed the men first earlier. The injustice is real. Rovina nodded solemnly. This feels discriminatory. Sanji raised both hands as if surrendering. All right, all right. Ladies first. Prepare yourselves, for heaven on a plate. The kitchen awakens. The moment Sanji stepped into the kitchen fully, everything changed. He tied his black apron with a single fluid motion, cigarette dangling loosely from his lips, eyes sharpening with focus. The girls watched Nami leaning across the counter, Rovina standing perfectly composed but with clear anticipation, Kobe bouncing like a fluffy mascot. Sanji kicked the door shut behind him. Bam! Then the dance began. The flamenco of knives. Steel flashed. Vegetables were diced faster than the eye could follow. Pans flared with fire in rhythmic bursts that reflected in Nami's wide eyes. Nami whispered. Is he showing off? Rovina. Yes. Undeniably. Kobe. Wow, he looks like the chefs in my doctor books, except less, alive. Sanji spun a skillet in one hand, kicked the spice drawer open, flicked a pepper grinder with his heel, and caught a falling tomato with his shoulder as if he belonged in an elite cooking tournament. But something different pulsed tonight. His core. The soul-forged nanoseed at his center hummed with a low electric beat, enhancing his dexterity, sharpening his senses, guiding his hands like a conductor of culinary symphonies. Every slice. Every flame. Every motion. Perfect. And the girls noticed. Nami melts first. Nami leaned forward, chin resting on her hands. Sanji, how are you even doing that with the flame? It's like it listens to you. Sanji winked. A flame only rebels when it's not loved properly. Nami blushed but only for a second before examining him sharply. You practiced this line. Sanji almost tripped. No. It was improv, just shut up. Rovina's calm observation. Rovina watched more quietly, but her eyes were keen. Your motor control has increased by approximately 12% since last week, she commented. Sanji froze mid-stir. How do you even measure that? Rovina shrugged. Observation. And, your haki is humming. You're fusing with something. Sanji swallowed hard. She always noticed too much. Nami tilted her head. Haki hums. Rovina. His does. Nami I want haki that hums. Sanji laughed nervously while flipping shrimp at impossible angles. Great. The archaeologist is onto me. Kobe's innocent curiosity. Kobe tugged on Rovina's sleeve. Is Sanji evolving? Like a monster form. Sanji nearly dropped the pan. No. I'm not turning into anything. Rovina smirked knowingly. We'll see. Sanji. We will not see anything. The feast lands. He presented the plates one by one with flourish. For Nami Tempest citrus pasta for the navigator who rides storms. A swirl of golden noodles, thin slices of citrus glazed fish, and a sauce as bright as lightning. Namiya's jaw dropped. This smells illegal. Sanji. Only if beauty is a crime. Namiya. It is when I eat it. For Rovina. Scholarly herb risotto calm, subtle, layered. Creamy, aromatic, the kind of dish that felt like a mystery unfolding softly with each bite. Rovina tasted one spoonful, closed her eyes, exhaled once. You're dangerous. Sanji blinked. What does that mean? Rovina opened her eyes, gazed deep. It means that if you cooked like this for kingdoms, wars would start over you. Sanji nearly combusted. For Kobe. Healthy veggie stew, energy rich, digestive friendly. Kobe sniffed it, eyes going round like marbles. This smells like hugs. Sanji melted. Ah, you adorable little reindeer. I'm not cute. Kobe screamed, running in circles. Crew reaction, stunning silence. The girls took their first bites. Then, nothing. No chatter. No jokes. Just stunned, silent eating. Sanji smirked, lighting another cigarette. Yeah, thought so. The boys arrive. The moment delicious smells drifted out of the kitchen. Raffi burst in like a cannonball. Sanjiayin, let me taste. He tripped. Kane caught him with one hand. Kane. He always does this. Give me protein. Yusin. Is there food left for us or are we going to die here watching? Frankie. I require super calories. Sanji placed 3 plates down. I saved portions. I'm the cook, not a monster. Everyone except Namiya and Rovina. You are a monster. They devoured the food. Instantly. Something changes in that moment. As the crew ate together. Laughing. Bickering. Teasing. Complimenting. Arguing. Punching each other. Sanji felt something warm press against his core. The system responded. Crew bond level increased. Core sync 42%. Gene layer stability rising. HAKI potential expanding. Sanji's breath caught. So that's it. The system grows when my heart grows. When the crew grows. When their trust grows. Namiya looked up at him, lips curving in a rare soft smile. Thanks, Sanji. Honestly. Rovina nodded. You hold us together more than you realize. Kobe. Why your food saved my life, probably. Sanji felt heat fill his chest. He looked at the smiling captain, the proud swordsman, the goofy sniper, the genius shipwright, the calm archaeologist, the innocent doctor, the daring navigator. His family. His reason. His power. I'll protect all of them, no matter what. Dawn before the storm. The sun had not yet risen. But something else had. A pulse, like a heartbeat, rippling through the clouds. Sanji was the first to sense it. He stood at the bow of the blue-hulled Azure Seraph, cigarette glowing faintly in the darkness. Wind whipped his coat. The sky itself felt heavier, as though an unseen titan was exhaling across the horizon. Core response detected. Unknown energy field, approaching. His system buzzed like a tuning fork struck by a cosmic hammer. That sky, it's not normal. Sanji narrowed his eyes. Clouds spiraled like a whirlpool miles above the ocean, forming an inverted cyclone, the legendary gateway to the Tempest Crown. Footsteps soft as silk approached. Namiya, brushing amber hair from her eyes, joined him at the bow. You feel it too, she whispered. Sanji. Hard not to. The storm's alive. Namiya smiled, but with an edge of fear. And it's watching us. Raffi arrives, captain's moment. A louder, heavier step landed behind them. Raffi, the captain, cloak fluttering behind him, emerged with a confident grin. His newly awakened Gear 2 flow still faintly tinted his skin a glowing red beneath the surface. He leaned beside Sanji. "Good morning, Navigator." "Morning, Chef." His grin widened. "Morning to the storm, too." Nami-ya rolled her eyes. "You talk to storms now." "Why not? Before long, we'll be punching one." Sanji exhaled smoke. "That's not something to brag about." Raffi pointed directly at the swirling sky. "There. That's where our next treasure is. The Skyforge compass. And the ones who attacked us earlier? They came from that place." His expression hardened. "And that's where the people who stole Sanji's blueprint are hiding." Sanji flicked ash off his cigarette. The memory burned hotter than the flame. "My mission isn't done until I take back what's mine." Raffi clapped a hand on his shoulder. "We'll get it. Together." The crew assembles. Kane soared on his back, half asleep but deadly stepped onto the deck. Yusin climbed the mast, already preparing the cannons. Frankie emerged with tools and bolts strapped around his waist. Rovina walked slowly while reading a book. Kobe waddled out with a tiny medical backpack bouncing behind him. They all gathered as Nami-ya unfurled the ancient chart. "Listen up," she shouted. "This storm has 2 layers, the outer spiral and the inner wall." Raffi leaned closer. "And the treasure?" Nami-ya pointed at the center. "The peak of the Tempest Crown. There's an island suspended in the core. A sky kingdom." Sanji nodded to himself. "So that's where the trail leads." "Perfect." Frankie cracked his knuckles. "Super dangerous." "Let's do it." Kane rested his hand on his sword. "If we die, I call haunting rights." Yusin. "I still haven't spent my paycheck." Kobe. "I didn't agree to this at all." Rovina, calm as ever. "You all overreact too much." Entering the Tempest Crown. When they approached the swirling wall of clouds, Sanji's core began vibrating, resonating with the storm. Hyperwind pressure, activate. HAKI sync level +3. Sanji's legs tightened, his muscles humming. Something about this storm amplified his senses. It was like the air itself wanted him to grow stronger. Raffi shouted. "Nami-ya. Take us in." Nami-ya's eyes glowed with pure navigational zeal. "With pleasure." She spun the wheel. The azure seraph shot forward. The moment they passed through the first wall. Boom! Thunder clashed so close it felt like a cannon blast. Winds screamed. Waves rose like mountains. Lightning carved electric trails across the sky. "Brace yourselves!" Nami-ya yelled. The ship tilted 40 degrees sideways. Kobe flew into the air. "My tiny medical body can't handle this." Raffi caught him midair like picking up a plush toy. Kane planted his sword into the deck to anchor himself. Frankie clung to the mast like a crazed koala. Yusin strapped himself to the cannon. And Sanji. Sanji didn't move. He stood perfectly balanced on one leg, cigarette still lit. Nami-ya yelled over the howl of the storm. "How the hell are you doing that?" Sanji smirked. "Experience." But the truth? The storm felt like home. His core drank the air like water in a desert. The sky beast descends. The sea split apart near them. Something enormous moved beneath. Rovina closed her book and whispered. "Everyone prepare. Something ancient is awakening." The water erupted upward. A colossal serpent made entirely from storm clouds and lightning burst forth. Its roar echoed across the sky like the world cracking open. A thunder leviathan. Nami-ya's face went pale. That wasn't in the chart." Yusin screamed. "We're gonna die." The leviathan lashed out. Raffi stepped forward. "Sanji." Sanji cracked his neck. "I know." Action explodes Sanji and Raffi duo. The leviathan lunged. Lightning charged around its fangs. Raffi blurred forward, Gear 2 flow igniting his limbs in crimson steam. Sanji. Sanji vanished, reappearing midair beside Raffi with a spinning kick. Their voices overlapped. Dial kick. Red flash strike. Their combined attack smashed into the Leviathan's jaw. Boom. The sky shook. Lightning exploded outward like fireworks. The beast shrieked and recoiled. Kane leapt in next, slashing waves of wind with his sword. Frankie fired super bolts from a mechanical cannon arm. Yusin shot explosive rounds from the mast. Even Nemiya hurled storm-bottled lightning bombs she had saving for emergencies. The Leviathan reeled. But then its body pulsed. Lightning gathered into a massive sphere in its throat. Rovana's eyes widened. It's charging a storm pulse. If it fires, it will erase the ship. Sanji and Raffi didn't hesitate. They sprinted forward. Raffi, left. Sanji, right. Raffi unleashed a gear flow rocket punch, blasting the creature's jaw upward. Sanji unleashed a hell spiral ignition, flame, and haki fusing. Preah. The Leviathan's head exploded into clouds. Its body dispersed like broken storm mist. Silence washed over the crew. Frankie exhaled. Super, victory. Yusin passed out upside down. Kobe lay on the deck motionless. Kane cleaned his sword with zero emotion. Nemiya slumped over the wheel. I hate storms. I hate giant monsters. I hate everything. Raffi placed a hand on her shoulder. You did good, navigator. She blushed softly. Thanks, Captain. Sanji exhaled smoke. Let's keep moving. This was just the gatekeeper. The inner wall the storm becomes sentient. The sea flattened. The clouds dimmed. The air itself grew heavy. Rovana whispered. We're being watched. Everyone froze. Then, a voice echoed across the sky. Turn back. Not from any throat. Not from any person. It came from the storm itself. Sanji felt his core pulse violently. Foreign HAKI signature detected. Concentrated will, high tier. Raffi stepped forward. I'm done running from the past. And Sanji needs that blueprint back. Lightning shaped into a face in the clouds. A man with hollow eyes. A sky warden. Then perish. Hundreds. Thousands. Of wind blades manifested. The crew prepared themselves. Nemiya spun the wheel. Kane. Front line. Kane unsheathed his blade. Yusin. Cover fire. Yusin already had 4 rifles. Frankie. Reinforce the hull. Super on it. Rovana. Barriers. Already forming. Raffi took a deep breath. Sanji stepped beside him. You ready, Captain? Raffi smirked, activating Gear 2 flow again. I was born ready. Sanji ignited his legs with swirling flame and haki. Then let's save the world. The storm itself screamed as the first barrage hit. The storm opens its eyes. The Sky Warden's face rippled across the cyclone wall, its hollow eyes swirling like twin hurricanes. The air throbbed with pressure, heavy, ancient, and vengeful. Then, the entire storm shifted, like a creature adjusting its posture. Wind blades rose like a tidal wave. Nemiya's hands tightened on the wheel. Storm pressure increasing. Brace yourselves. The first barrage crashed down. Defense formation crew in motion. Kane moved first. His sword, Ryasei forged twin fang, glowed with compressed aura as he stepped in front of the crew. With one sweeping arc. Heaven break. A crescent slash ripped the sky, cleaving the first wall of wind blades in half. The impact shook the ship. Behind him, Rovana raised her palms, murmuring incantations. A dozen translucent, Violet shields manifested around the deck. Hold, hold, she whispered, sweat forming on her brow. This thing is stronger than I predicted. Frankie activated mechanical anchors, slamming steel clamps into the deck to stabilize the ship. Super lockdown engaged. Yusen had tears in his eyes as he fired off rounds in every direction. Why are there so many wind blades? How many blades does one sky have? Sanji exhaled a thin stream of smoke. It's not the storm attacking us. Raffi nodded grimly beside him. It's the warden. First wave Sanji and Raffi break through. Sanji flicked away the cigarette and stepped forward. The air around him tightened as his core activated. Core, ignition mode 17%. Leg pressure ratio, optimized. HAKI synchronization stable. Raffi lowered into his fighting stance, crimson steam curling from his arms. Sanji. Yet. Take left. I'll take right. You read my mind. They blurred. The deck cracked from the force of their departure. Sanji spiraled upward, flame and haki twining around his legs like twin dragons. He kicked through a cluster of blades. Boom! The entire pack detonated. Raffi struck through the opposite side, his fists moving like red streaks. Each blow shattered a wind blade, dispersing them into harmless air. The Sky Warden's hollow eyes narrowed. Interesting. Second wave Sky Fangs. The storm swelled. The clouds twisted and sharpened into fanged serpents made from pure wind. They dove. Kobe screamed and leapt into Raffi's arms. No, 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 no. I'm a doctor, not a sky snake snack. Kane intercepted two with a cross slash, the impact creating a shockwave that rippled across the deck. Rovina murmured. 7 shields left. 6. 5. Yusen fired an exploding round straight into a serpent's mouth. The creature burst into vapor. Ha! Who's laughing now? Another serpent charged him. Yusen shrieked again. Not me, not me, not me. Sanji and Raffi shot forward again. Raffi grabbed one serpent by the jaw, yanked it close, and crushed it with a flow burst punch. Sanji spun horizontally, igniting his leg. Hell wheel. He sliced through 3 serpents at once. They disintegrated into mist, dissolving into the storm. Raffi grinned. You're getting stronger. Sanji didn't look back. So are you. The Skywarden takes form. Lightning condensed into a humanoid silhouette within the clouds. Massive. Tall as a tower. Eyes like burning hurricanes. It stepped out of the storm wall. Each footstep sending thunder crawling across the sky. Its voice shook the air. Thieves of the sea. Turn back or be erased. Raffi stepped ahead of everyone, cape billowing. We're not turning back. Sanji's eyes hardened. You have something that belongs to us. The warden lifted a hand. Lightning spiraled around its fist. Then you will be tested. The trial, Heaven's Stampede. The warden slammed its fist downward. Boom. The clouds beneath them collapsed, creating a vertical vortex that dragged the ship downward. Nami-Ya screamed, fighting the wheel. The sea below is pulling us. We're falling. Frankie attached boosters to the stern of the ship. Super thrusters activate. The ship steadied but only barely. The warden raised both arms. From the storm around it, thousands of bird-like constructs emerged. Made of lightning, wind, and fury. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Yusen howled. The birds screeched and charged. Raffi cracked his knuckles and stepped forward. Everyone get behind me. Sanji smirked. You sure? Raffi grinned wide. Watch this. Raffi's moment, the captain rises. Steam erupted around Raffi's legs and arms, turning red hot. The deck trembled. His heartbeat echoed like a bass drum. Gear flow. He bent his knees. Rail. He launched himself upward. Cannon. He shot into the flock of skybirds like a crimson missile. Each punch, each kick ripped apart dozens at once. Thunder boomed across the sky with each impact. From the deck, the crew stared upward in awe. Yusin. Did the captain just ascend to a new religion? Kobe. He's a demon. A red demon. Rovina, calmly. He's simply adapting to the upper-tier atmospheric density. Kane nodded. Or just insane. Raffi twisted in midair, spinning. Meteor sweep. A spiral of red light tore through the remainder of the flock. The sky exploded with white flashes, clearing the air entirely. When Raffi descended back to the ship, steam trailing behind him, Namiya caught him by the arm to steady him. Raffi grinned. Round 1 clear. Sanji cracked his neck. Round 2's already coming. The Skywarden descends. The giant cloud figure dissipated, only to reappear behind the ship instantly. Its size shrank, condensing into a humanoid of pure lightning, now just 3 meters tall but infinitely more dangerous. Sanji's core screamed warnings. Danger level, critical. HAKI threshold test, initiated. System suggestion, unlock new flow. The warden touched the water. The sea turned black as lightning surged across it. Rovina widened her eyes. It's preparing a judgment strike. Sanji stepped forward. Captain. Your call. Raffi nodded. Kane. Frankie. Yusin. Rovina. Kobe. Namiya. Everyone turned to him. Prepare the ship. Keep it afloat. Keep it alive. Sanji and I will handle the warden. Sanji grinned. Just don't get yourself killed. Raffi smirked. Not before dinner. The Battle Lightning vs HAKIN system. The warden blurred. Instant lightning movement. It appeared at Sanji's flank. Sanji twisted, haki coating his leg in obsidian black. He kicked. Klea. The impact sent shockwaves across the deck. Raffi intercepted the next strike, his fist glowing red. Boom. The warden staggered back. Lightning gathered along its arms, forming 2 long blades. It rushed forward. Sanji ducked under the slash, pivoted, and slammed a knee upward. Hell-rising hammer. Raffi followed, punching the second blade apart with flow burst. The Titan retaliated by compressing lightning into a ball. Energy surged. Rovina screamed. Move. That's a Skycore detonation. Sanji grabbed Raffi by the collar. Both vanished as the explosion erupted. Crack. The sky split open. A crater of pure white energy tore a hole in the storm. The blast would have vaporized the ship. Sanji landed on the mast, Raffi in tow. Raffi coughed. You pulled me? When did you move? Sanji smirked. When you blinked. His system hummed. Core limit lifted, 19%. New HAKI synchro detected. Wind step protocol activated. Sanji's clothes fluttered. Wind coiled around him like a second element. Raffi stared. Your system is evolving again. Not my system, Sanji corrected. He clenched his fist. My body. The warden enters final form. The Sky Warden roared. Its lightning body condensed further, turning jagged and sharp. Like a living weapon. Every time it moved, the air tore open. Namiya shouted from the wheel. Sanji. Raffi. Hurry. The storm wall is closing around us. They didn't have much time. Raffi cracked his fists. You take the lead. Sanji inhaled slowly. Flame ignited around his left leg. Wind coiled around his right. Haki coated both like armor. His core burned hot. New mode, elemental fusion. Sanji vanished. He reappeared behind the warden. Skyfire kick. The impact blasted the warden through the storm wall. Raffi followed, charging a flow cannon. They attacked simultaneously. Raffi, Red Nova break. Sanji, Hell Cyclone. The combined strike engulfed the warden. Lightning exploded outward. The storm screamed like a dying god. The warden cracked, shattered, and the entire inner wall of the Tempest Crown collapsed, revealing a glowing sky island at the center. Raffi panted, steam fading. Sanji wiped sweat from his brow. The system chimed softly. Test, passed. Core evolution progress, plus 12%. Sanji whispered. Good. The crew reacts. The storm calmed. Sunlight poured in. Kobe burst into tears. We're alive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yusin fell to his knees. My heart aged 50 years. Frankie flexed. That was super. Rovina smiled slightly. You two performed well. Expected, but impressive. Namiya exhaled deeply and wiped her forehead. Captain. Chef. Welcome back. Raffi grinned. Thanks. Sanji smirked. Miss Namiya, anything for you? She blushed and slapped his arm. Stop flirting during near-death situations. Kane walked forward and pointed at the now visible floating sky island. What's next? Raffi's eyes gleamed. Next. He turned to them all. We land. We infiltrate. We take back the blueprint. And we conquer the Tempest Crown. Sanji's core pulsed warmly. My mission continues. The island above the thunder. They've ascent into calm. The chaos of battle dissolved into an unsettling stillness. The sea, moments ago snarling beneath the storm's wrath, now shimmered like polished glass. Above the ship, the enormous hole Sanji and Raffi had carved through the storm wall still crackled faintly, its edges glowing with residual lightning. And floating beyond that wound in the sky was the Tempest Crown's heart. A vast island suspended by nothing but air currents and ancient mechanisms, its underside glowing with softly pulsing runes. Sanji stared at it while leaning lazily against the rail, a cigarette hanging from his mouth. Smoke curled upward, touching the newborn sunlight. That is not how this arc went in the anime I watched. His eyes narrowed. But that's the point, isn't it? I'm not following a script anymore. He reminded himself. He wasn't supposed to be here. He wasn't supposed to be Sanji. Wasn't supposed to have a core, or a system, or haki evolving at ridiculous speeds. But his life before this world felt distant like an old dream. He tapped his cigarette. Transmigrator or not. I'm deep in this now. The crew gathers mix of awe and exhaustion. Sanji. Yusin sprinted over, waving dramatically. Is it safe to breathe? Because I think the lightning changed the air and maybe it's toxic. Sanji flicked ash on Yusin's forehead. Relax. If it were toxic, you'd be dead already. Yusin froze. That's not comforting at all. Kobe trotted up, the small reindeer clutching medical supplies. He looked up with big watery eyes. Sanji, you kicked a god out of the sky. Sanji smirked. You saw that. I heard it. Kobe sniffed. Then I fainted. Kane approached silently, blade sheathed over his shoulder. His voice remained steady. You moved faster. Stronger. Again. Sanji shrugged. Training pays off. Kane gave him a sidelong glance. Training, and something else. Sanji's smile didn't reach his eyes. Something like that. Kane didn't press. He simply nodded. Behind them, Rovina and Frankie examined the visible underside of the floating island. Rovina spoke first. The runes suggest ancient construction older than the calm belt structures. Frankie rubbed his chin. Super ancient tech. Might even predate the Void Century. Namiya approached Sanji, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Her voice softened. Thanks for saving us back there. Sanji's heart fluttered like an idiot. Oh, Namiya Swan, for you I'd save the entire war. She pinched his cheek sharply. Stop. Sanji clutched his cheek dramatically. Shishi, the pain is worth it. The crew chuckled, tension releasing little by little. Return of the captain. Raffi walked forward, stretching his arms, crimson steam still faint in the air around him. All right everyone, he said with a grin that pulled the crew straight into his orbit. Next step is obvious. Frankie. Infiltrate the mysterious floating island. Yusin. Run away and pretend we didn't see it. Kobe. Try not to die. Rovina. Map its energy channels and identify weak points. Kane. Fight whatever is guarding the blueprint. Namiya. Don't sink the ship. Sanji. Eat first. Raffi pointed at Sanji. That one. The entire crew raised their arms in victory. Fuhuhuhuhuud. Sanji chuckled and flicked his cigarette into the sea. All right, you hungry heathens. Sit your asses down. Sanji's kitchen a mood shift. The kitchen became a sanctuary of warmth and rhythm. Sanji moved like a dancer, fire, knives, spices, steam. His system hummed as he cooked. Core activity, 14%. Neural flow, optimal. Precision boost engaged. Not combat mode. Not battle instincts. Something gentler. Something closer to his old world. In my world, cooking was the only superpower I had, he thought. Funny how it followed me here. He chopped vegetables in a blur, seared meat with perfect timing, and infused the broth with just enough heat to comfort exhausted bodies. Namiya peeked in from the door. Do you always move like that? Sanji smirked. Only when beautiful ladies watch. Rovina joined her, arms folded. You're efficient. Calculated. But the movements are harmonious. Sanji paused for a fraction of a second. Harmonious. That wasn't just cooking technique. That was his core, syncing with his emotion, creating a new mode he didn't have before. He whispered internally. System. What am I syncing with? Answer. Soul congruence pattern evolving. The soul you carried and the body you occupy are merging. Sanji froze. So, it's happening faster? Yes. Your identity is no longer split. You are becoming Sanji entirely. The knife nearly slipped. He whispered, low and almost involuntary. I don't want to disappear. Namiya noticed his hand tremble. Sanji, are you okay? He forced a grin. Yet. Just thinking about spices. She frowned, clearly unconvinced, but let it go. Dinner. The crew recharges. The table overflowed with dishes. The crew devoured them like wild beasts. Yusin cried into his bowl. This is so good, why don't we just live here and never fight again? Kobe patted him. That's the exhaustion talking. Frankie held up a grilled fish. Super delicious. Raffi ate calmly, watching his crew with pride in his eyes. You outdid yourself, chef. Sanji rolled his sleeves. If food didn't fix your strength, then you'd be beyond saving. Namiya added, cheeks pink. It really was amazing. Thank you. Sanji almost folded like a wet noodle. But deep inside, he felt it again. That tug. That slow merging. Transmigrator memories fading. Sanji memories strengthening. He clenched his fist under the table. I have to stay aware. If I lose my identity completely, I'll forget why I'm here. Forget the anime. Forget the future events. Forget who I was. But he said nothing. Because the crew laughed around him, warm, alive, trusting. And he felt something he didn't expect. I don't want to lose this either. The island first contact. By the time they reached the floating island's docking platform, the sun was leaning west, bathing the sky in molten gold. The island's lower surface up close was immense stone, metal, and cloud-forged architecture intertwined seamlessly. A massive archway welcomed them. Wind-like patterns pulsed across its surface. Kane muttered. Feels like an ambush waiting to happen. Yusin hid behind Kobe. Don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. Rovina traced the runes. These symbols regulate pressure. This entire island is stabilized by ancient technology. Frankie's eyes sparkled. Super ancient technology. Sanji placed a leg on the stone floor. A soft pulse rippled beneath his foot. His system buzzed. Unknown frequency detected. Core resonance initiated. What now? Then. A deep, mechanical hum echoed through the archway. Lights activated along the walls. Raffi smirked. Looks like they noticed us. Sanji tensed. Everything inside the archway darkened. Then. Footsteps. Multiple. Synchronized. The first wave of defenders emerged. Tall, humanoid constructs made of metal and storm energy, their eyes glowing bright blue. Raffi cracked his knuckles. Well then. Kane drew his sword. Enemies confirmed. Namiya summoned lightning in her fingertips. I hate islands. Rovina's eyes lit up in excitement. Oh, yes. This is promising. Kobe hid behind Sanji. Tell me when they're gone. Yusin pulled out his slingshot and immediately dropped the ammo. Kane, protect me. The constructs raised their arms, energy forming at their palms. Sanji stepped forward. His core pulsed. His haki sharpened. Transmigrator or not. Sanji or someone else. He exhaled a line of smoke. This is my crew. He raised his leg. Raffi. Let's crash their welcoming party. Raffi grinned. Gladly. And together. They charged. Twin fangs of the Grand Line, the first major boss. The night sky above the shattered ruins of Isle Brontes churned like a cauldron of storm clouds. Lightning sliced downward, illuminating the collapsed stone courtyard where the crew's vanguard stood. Raffi cracked his knuckles, smirking even though his coat was half-burned. Kane stood beside him, swords crossed against his shoulders, blood dripping from a shallow cut on his forehead. And behind them, hands in his pockets, cigarette glowing faintly. Sanji watched the storm and exhaled slowly, a faint tremor running through his core. It's starting again. That resonance. The system. The soul fusion. Germa's nanotech crawling under my skin like a second heartbeat. He pushed the feeling down. This wasn't about him. This was about supporting his captain. Like he always chose to. The enemy arrives. The earth ruptured. Stone pillars exploded upward as a massive silhouette rose from beneath the island's fractured foundation. A colossal beast, half man, half living armor towered above them. Jagged crimson plates layered across its body like volcanic rock. Titanbreaker Draxos. SD9's secret weapon. Their final wall. It roared, the sound shaking the skies. Draxos, you. Are. They. Thieves who destroyed SD9's mission. Raffi spit blood to the side. Kane rolled his neck. Sanji sighed, flicking ash. Sanji, well, we didn't mean to destroy your mission. We just, kind of, stomped on it repeatedly. Kane snorted. Raffi, Sanji, that wasn't helping. Draxos slammed a fist into the ground. The courtyard erupted in a shockwave of magma and stone. The crew leaped in different directions. The fight begins. Raffi charges first. The captain blurred forward with explosive footwork, steam puffing around him from his rapid movements. Sanji, watching from the corner of his eye. He's almost using gear second. Just not consciously yet. Raffi dodged a downward fist the size of a ship's mast, spinning into a powerful punch that cracked one of Draxos's chest plates. Raffi, boy. You're all armor and no brain. Draxos, you are all insignificant. The Colossus swung its arm like a battering ram. Raffi ducked barely, and the air pressure alone sent him skidding across the ground. Kane enters. 2 swords drawn, aura flaring green. Kane, if Captain's punches don't work, my swords will. He slashed upward, blades singing through the air. Steel met armor, sparks exploding from the impact. Sanji noted how Kane's muscles tensed, haki flickering around his shoulders. He's grown too. Everyone is pushing forward. A massive claw swiped toward Kane. And Kane leaped backward, panting. Kane, okay, maybe not cutting through that easily. Sanji joins. Casually. Sanji strolled forward, cigarette between his lips, kicking a broken stone aside. Raffi, Sanji. Stop walking like you're going to buy groceries. We're fighting a giant. Sanji, well, someone has to keep the pace balanced. He lifted his foot. A faint glow pulsed through his leg. His core humming with restrained power. He kicked. A single, gentle-looking strike. Boom. A shockwave rocketed across the battlefield, colliding with Draxos's knee. The giant staggered, cracking the ground beneath him. Raffi blinked. Kane blinked. Even Draxos blinked. Raffi, did you just kick a giant off balance, casually? Sanji, hey. Maybe the ground here is softer. Inside his body, the system surged. Soul nanotech sync, 87% 89%. Hidden module, haki potential overdrive activated. Sanji exhaled slowly, ignoring the blue texts flickering in his vision. Focus. They don't need to know. The battle escalates. Draxos roared, magma spilling from his armor plates. The temperature skyrocketed. Raffi, this is new, why is he melting? Draxos slammed both fists into the ground. A volcanic eruption burst beneath them. Kane reacted first. Crossing swords, coating them in haki, deflecting the first surge. Raffi sprinted through the flames. Steam bursting from his steps, fists blazing. Sanji appeared behind Raffi in a flash, kicking a pillar of lava aside with a spinning mid-air strike. Sanji, careful, Captain. Burnt Captain isn't on today's menu. Raffi, does anything scare you? Sanji, Bills. Team combination attack. Raffi launched upward, fist glowing bright red. Kane crossed blades and slashed from below. Sanji twisted mid-air, legs trailing arcs of blue fire. The 3 attacks converged. But Draxos caught them. One hand. One monstrous grip. Draxos, pitiful. He smashed the trio into the ground, stone exploding outward like shrapnel. Dust filled the air. Sanji wiped blood from his lip. More surprised than hurt. He caught us all. Even with me holding back. His core pulsed harder. Sink, 90% 91%. He felt something ancient stirring inside. A second heartbeat. Not human. Not Germa. Something fused from both. He swallowed. Not now. Not in front of them. The turning point. Draxos charged a massive energy sphere in his chest. Volcanic magma spiraling toward critical density. Raffi and Kane backed up, exhausted. Raffi, Sanji, we're running low. Kane, we need something big. Anything. Sanji flicked his cigarette away. It hit the ground, the ember dying. He stepped forward. The hidden power reveals itself. Just a bit. As Sanji walked, the air rippled. His steps were silent, but every movement sent shockwaves through the dust. A blue aura ignited around his legs. Not flames, but something denser. Sharper. Like compressed willpower. Hacky. System enhanced. Soul fused. Draxos sensed it. For the first time. The Titan hesitated. Sanji, Captain. Kane. Stand back. Raffi blinked. Kane felt the air pressure shift. Sanji lowered his stance. Right leg coiled back like a bowstring. Don't unleash too much. Just enough to finish this. The system whispered. Limiter partial release available. He inhaled. Exhaled. And whispered. Sanji, Heaven Splitter. First variation. He kicked. The strike that broke a Titan. Not fire. Not lightning. Not wind. Pure, condensed force. Exploded outward in a straight line. A spear of invisible impact that tore the ground open from Sanji's foot to Draxos's chest. Crack. The Titan's armor shattered. The magma core destabilized. Energy burst outward like a collapsing star. Draxos fell to one knee, trembling. Draxos, what are you? Sanji lit a new cigarette and turned away. Sanji, just a cook. Draxos collapsed. The island shook with the force. Aftermath: the crew's reaction. Raffi's jaw dropped. Kane stared at Sanji like he'd just watched a god walk by. Raffi, Sanji, that wasn't normal. Kane, no swordsman could do that. No martial artist could either. Sanji shrugged casually. Sanji, you two softened him up. I just delivered dessert. Raffi threw an arm over his shoulder, laughing half seriously. Raffi, next time warn us before you destroy a mountain, okay? Sanji smiled faintly. Inside, his core pulsed stronger than ever. Sync, 91%, 94%. System evolution, phase 2 progressing. I can feel it. This world is shaping me. My soul is merging deeper. And the system is waking up. But he kept walking. A cook in the shadows. A monster no one noticed. Supporting his captain. Protecting his crew. And he liked it that way. Skyfall Arc Subchapter 1. The calm after victory. The sea was too quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the aftermath of chaos quiet, the kind that settles only after the world has been shaken, rearranged, and forced to swallow something monstrous. The Thousand Crest drifted gently atop shimmering waters, its hull still echoing the bruises of war. Splinter marks, claw scars, dents deep enough to swallow a fist. The ship wore its wounds like medals. And on the deck, her crew celebrated being alive, loudly. Woohoo! We did it! Yusin yelled, already standing on the railing, shaking a bottle of juice like champagne before getting slapped in the back of the head by Namiya. You're going to fall overboard again, idiot, she snapped. Yusin rubbed his head and whined dramatically, but Nami, we just beat an entire squad of assassins. This is a moment of glory. A moment of stupidity, she countered, though a small victorious smirk tugged at her lips. Raffi, sitting cross-legged atop the lion-headed bow, laughed with that familiar sunshine grin of his, earnest, childlike, and so blinding it made the sea itself sparkle. You guys were amazing. Kane. That sword slash was so cool. And Frankie, that suplex was insane. Rovina, you. Don't praise them too much, a calm voice cut in. Their heads will inflate. It was King, lean, disciplined, breathing in controlled rhythms as he polished his twin swords with quiet pride. He didn't look up, but the corner of his lips twitched. Raffi gasped dramatically. Are you smiling? I am not. You are. Shut up. Laughter exploded all across deck. Then, a soft clink. Sanji set down a tray. Steam rose from freshly grilled sea king meat, spices dancing in the air, delicately cut vegetables forming flower patterns around the edge of the plates. And 2 bowls, one for Namiya, one for Rovana, sat like royal offerings front and center. Perfectly balanced, chef-crafted, borderline romantic. Namiya froze mid-scolding. Her eyes sparkled. Sanji, is that for? Of course, Namiya swayeon. Sanji slid beside her with a flourish, voice silky enough to melt the clouds. You and Rovana Cheon fought brilliantly today. You deserve only the finest my hands can offer. Rovana pushed her glasses up, cheeks lightly pink. You always present food like a ritual. It is, Sanji said with a bow. Everything I cook is my heart. Namiya giggled. Ah. Then she stuffed a mouthful in and immediately groaned in delight. Rovana followed, eyes widening as flavors bloomed like fireworks. Across the deck, Raffi blinked. Hey, where's my plate? Sanji lit a cigarette. Yours is in the kitchen. Go get it. You broke my ladle last week. I said sorry for that, an accident multiplied by, 3 accidents. The crew erupted again. But Sanji smiled quietly to himself. Perfect. They were whole. Alive. Laughing. This was why he fought from the shadows. The laughter faded into a soft rhythm, blending with the waves. Sanji leaned back against the railing, letting a thin blade of sunset reflect off his cigarette. Then his chest pulsed. The pain was faint, but familiar. A thump. Not a heartbeat. A system pulse. His Germa core, as he now called it, flickered like a second heart trying to sync with the first. A thin thread of warmth shot up his spine, spreading into his limbs, humming beneath the skin like hidden lightning. He exhaled smoke. Silently. Still evolving, even after that fight. From the corner of his eye, he watched Kane slicing falling leaves with uncanny precision, training silently even after victory. Raffi and Yusin were arguing about poses. Frankie was hammering planks back into shape, occasionally yelling, "Super repairs." Kobe was rolling on the floor with a bandage around his head, moaning dramatically for attention. Rovana was quietly reading a logbook, one eye on the crew as though watching over them. Beautiful idiots. And Sanji, a transmigrator, a former viewer, a man who already knew parts of their future, felt a heaviness settle in his chest. I have to protect them. Whatever this world throws next. I already know it's going to get worse. He tapped ash into the sea. He wasn't the Sanji whose path was written by another author. He wasn't bound to anyone's canon. He was stronger now. Different. Changing. And that scared him. Not because of the Germa in his blood, but because of what he might become if he stopped caring. His thoughts were interrupted when Namiya leaned over, a teasing grin on her lips. Sanji, she said, you're staring off into the distance again. That's the 3rd time today. Reminiscing about something. His breath hitched. She didn't know. No one knew. The memories of another Earth folded like pages behind his eyes. Watching One Piece on a cheap screen. Laughing at Sanji's over-the-top flirting. Crying at the crew's pain. Dreaming of adventure. And now he lived it. He forced a charming smile. Just admiring the sea, Namiya Swan. You're lying, she sang, poking his arm. His heart misfired. Though not nearly as violently as the next pulse. A thump. The Germa core vibrated again. Sanji coughed lightly to mask it and turned away. Raffi suddenly shouted, everyone. Come look. The crew rushed to the bow. Sanji joined them, then froze. Above the horizon, cutting through the clouds, an island floated. Silhouetted against the sun, chained to nothing, drifting on invisible currents as if held up by wings. White cliffs. Glowing waterfalls. Ancient structures shining faintly like polished bone. A place that shouldn't exist. Namiya grabbed the railing. What is that? Rovana's voice trembled. I've read only legends about floating topographies, but this. Frankie's jaw dropped. That ain't natural, that's super unnatural. Kobe fainted instantly. Yusen screamed triumphantly, we discovered a new island. I claim IT for USEN Kingdom. Kane elbowed him. You claim nothing. Raffi leaned forward, eyes sparkling with fearless excitement. That's where the weird lightning and wind earlier came from, right? Sanji didn't answer. Because the moment his eyes locked onto the floating island, his core reacted violently. A shockwave of sensation crashed through him. Ba thump. Ba thump. Ba thump. His heartbeat and the Germacore heartbeat began, sinking. What the hell? A thin ring of blue flickered around his pupils. He blinked rapidly and it disappeared. He gripped the railing to steady himself. Something on that island is calling to me. Something dangerous. Something connected to the system. A gentle voice broke his thoughts. Sanji. He turned. Raffi stood beside him. Captain's grin replaced by a rare seriousness. We're going up there, Raffi said. But I want you, Kane, and me to lead the vanguard. Sanji hesitated. Why him? Why now? Raffi continued softly. You're strong. Stronger than you act. And I trust whatever gut feeling you get. So, you lead with me, okay? Sanji inhaled slowly. He thought of his past life. Of knowing Raffi was a mirror of Luffy, unstoppable, fearless, someone who changed the world simply by existing. He felt a strange warmth settle in his chest. Sure, Sanji said quietly. I've got your back, Captain. Raffi grinned again. That's the spirit. Behind them, Kobe finally woke up and yelled, Wait, we're going up there. Namiya sighed. We have to. It's literally floating. How can we not? Yusen pointed dramatically. Adventure awaits. And probably death. But mostly adventure. Frankie pumped a metallic fist. We're super ready. Rovana adjusted her book. Ancient records must exist there. I must see it. Kane silently stood, blades sheathed, eyes burning. Sanji flicked away his cigarette. The floating island loomed closer, like a silent titan suspended in the sky. The wind shifted. The sea darkened. The air hummed with old power. And deep within Sanji's core, the system whispered. Germa-Soul core synchronization, 12% 15%. Foreign signal detected. Ancient frequency resonance. Warning, approaching source. Welcome, lost air. Sanji swallowed hard. Here we go. He straightened his tie, cracked his neck, and took a step forward. All right, crew, he said, voice calm, steady, hiding the storm in his chest. Let's go. Skyfall Arc Subchapter 2. Climb to the Skyfall Island. The sea's roar faded beneath the sudden shift in the air. A low, thunderous hum rolled from the floating island like the growl of some ancient colossus waking from slumber. The Thousand Crest trembled lightly, its sails fluttering as if intimidated by the skyborn giant looming above. Raffi stood on the bow, eyes blazing with thrill. Kane sharpened his blades again despite them already gleaming like starlight. Sanji lit a new cigarette, letting the flame reflect in his focused eyes. The crew gathered, each with different expressions. Namiya excited but wary. Rovana already scribbling notes. Yusen bouncing like a kid who ate a bag of coffee beans. Frankie hammering his chest plate. Kobe hugging a rope pole, whispering prayers. Then, whoosh. A violent gust spiraled downward from the floating island, stirring whirlpools beneath the thousand crest. Nami-ya grabbed the rail. The wind, it's shifting. Something's pulling the air upward. Rovana's eyes widened behind her glasses. A vertical current. An ascending vortex. If we ride it. Sanji finished her sentence calmly. We'll be launched straight toward the island. Yusin screamed in pure joy. Kobe screamed in pure terror. Frankie slammed his tools into his belt. That is super dangerous. Which means it's super right. Sanji exhaled a thin trail of smoke. He felt it again. That pulse in his core. B.A. thump. B.A. thump. B.A. thump. Not painful this time. Almost, calling him. The sky shimmered faintly like the island recognized their presence. Raffi stepped beside him. Sanji. Kane. Let's take point. Kane bowed his head. Understood. Sanji flicked ash over the sea. Lead the charge, Captain. Raffi grinned and raised his fist high. Everyone, hold tight. We're going to the sky. The crew roared back in unison. Aye. The ascent. The thousand crest lurched into the rising vortex. A thunderous cyclone of wind engulfed them, spiraling upward like a spiral staircase to the heavens. The deck tilted sharply faster than the ship had any right to move. Steady. Raffi yelled. Kane planted his feet like an unshakable pillar. Nami-ya clung to a mast while shouting directions. Left sail. Up. No down USEN, stop pulling everything. I'm trying. I think. Frankie anchored ropes around pillars. Kobe, don't let go or you'll super die. I can't feel my fingers anymore. Rovana held onto her logbook with her teeth as pages flapped like crazed birds. Sanji? Calm. Perfectly balanced. He stood solid on one leg, cigarette unmoving in the furious wind, tie fluttering like a banner. The vortex dragged them upward with terrifying velocity. The sea shrinking beneath them. The sky drawing nearer. The floating island swelling like a continent descending from heaven. Lightning crackled inside the clouds above. Kane's eyes sharpened. Something's coming. Raffi cracked his knuckles. Then we'll hit it before it hits us. Sanji inhaled, letting the wind wash over him. Here comes the welcoming party. The Skyfall Guardians. A screech split the sky. Then. Shreyok. Two colossal, bird-like beasts burst through the clouds, wings draped in lightning, eyes glowing with an unnatural, ancient spark. Their feathers were metallic. Their beaks were long and jagged like thunder-forged daggers. Rings of energy pulsed around their bodies. Rovana gasped. Skyfall wire wings. A species thought extinct. Yusin pointed. They're huge. Frankie screamed. They're hungry. Kobe fainted again. Raffi punched his palm excitedly. Perfect warm-up. Kane drew both swords in one clean motion. I'll handle the left. Sanji exhaled smoke. I'll support. The crew braced. The wire wings descended with murder on their talons. Battle, wire wing guardians of Skyfall. Kane versus left wire wing. The left wire wing swooped straight at Kane, wind blasting across the deck. Kane didn't move. Not until the very last millisecond. Then. FWIP. He vanished, reappearing above the monster's back. Twin crescent sky cut. His blades curved in synchronized arcs, slicing through gust and feather. Sparks showered the sky. The wire wing shrieked and spiraled violently upward. Raffi vs. Right wire wing. Raffi leaped off the deck straight into midair, fists blazing with his chi. Rumble breaker punch. His fist cracked against the wire wing's jaw, sending a shockwave that displaced clouds. Feathers sprayed in every direction. Come back here, he yelled, clinging to the beast's neck as it thrashed wildly. The crew panicked below. Yusin, the captain is riding it like a wild chicken. Nami ya. Stop calling it a chicken. Raffi, get back here. Rovina. Fascinating, he's insane. Frankie. Kobe, wake up, you're missing this. Sanji's silent power. Sanji observed both battles. Measuring strength, patterns, speed, wind currents. Then his core pulsed. A thump. A veil of blue briefly shimmered around his legs. Sanji clenched his fist. No. Not yet. He suppressed it quickly, masking the strength that could end the battle instantly. Instead, he moved with elegant ease, intercepting attacks with precision kicks. A stray lightning feather soared toward Namiya. Sanji blurred, appearing between her and death. Clink. His heel rammed into the feather, deflecting it into the sea where it exploded. Namiya gasped. Sanji. He smiled softly. I'll always protect you, Namiya Swan. Rovina nearly dropped her book. His speed. His reflexes. He wasn't this fast before. Synchronize. Above, Raffi managed to headbutt his wire wing into unconsciousness. Down you go. The beast plummeted into the ocean with a geyser-like splash. Below, Kane locked his blades in an X shape. Final cross sever. His wire wing split into two clean arcs of defeated feathers, falling like snow. The vortex carried the thousand crest higher and higher. Wind roared past them. Lightning arched around them. The floating island Skyfall loomed so close now its waterfalls sprayed mist onto their deck. Sanji's core pulsed again. A thump. A thump. A thump. The voice returned. Signal strength increase, 18%, 23%. Approach confirmed. Skyfall Sanctuary acknowledges your bloodline. Air detected. Prepare. For the trial of Skyfall. Only the worthy survive. Sanji's eyes widened. Trial. He looked up. Just as the island's shadow swallowed them whole. The thousand crest broke through the last veil of cloud. And entered the floating kingdom of Skyfall. The air trembled. The ground rumbled. Ancient mechanisms deep within the island awakened. As though recognizing Sanji. He clenched his jaw. Whatever awaits us, it's connected to me. Raffi stepped beside him again, smiling fearlessly. You ready, Sanji? Sanji flicked away his cigarette. Always. Skyfall Arc Subchapter 3. Sanctuary of the Skyborn, the island that watches. The thousand crest burst through the last curtain of clouds. And silence swallowed everything. The wind softened. The roar of the vortex collapsed behind them. The ship drifted forward with the gentleness of a falling feather. Before them stretched Skyfall. A floating continent ringed by waterfalls that poured endlessly into empty air. Forests danced in silver-blue luminescence. Rivers split the island like glowing veins. Ancient ruins floated on broken slabs of levitating stone, suspended by invisible force. The sky wasn't merely blue. It shimmered with star-like motes, as if the heavens themselves lived here. The entire crew stood frozen in awe. Raffi. We're really here. Kane clenched his sword hilts, jaw tightening. It feels alive. Rovina whispered, trembling with excitement. A once-lost civilization, an entire floating ecosystem, this is beyond any discovery in recorded history. Yusin gasped, pointing wildly. Look. A deer with wings. Kobe corrected with shaky confidence. That's a Skyfall antelope. It's supposed to be extinct. Frankie collapsed to his knees. It's so super beautiful. Namiya simply let out a breathless laugh. This place is magic. Sanji didn't speak. Because his core, his Germa system soul-fused core, was humming like a living engine. A thump. A thump. A thump. Quiet. Warm. familiar. Like something on this island was calling home. The dock of ancient kings. The thousand crest glided forward until the water beneath it 9 shades of sapphire guided the ship to a landing structure carved into the edge of the island. A monumental gate stood ahead. 20 meters tall. Engraved with spiraling lines that looked like a map of the sky itself. The moment Sanji stepped onto the island, the gate glowed. Rovina froze mid-step. Did you do that? Sanji's heart dropped. I didn't touch anything. The glowing intensified. Symbols ignited along the archway. A deep rumble answered from somewhere inside. Yusin hid behind Frankie. It's gonna explode, isn't it? Please don't explode. Kane stepped forward, calm but ready. Sanji. Something is reacting to you. Namiya placed a confident hand on Sanji's arm. Whatever it is, we're all here with you. Sanji offered her a faint smile. Then focused on the gate. The light spiraled. Air identified. Bloodline sequence, 9th generation. Germa vector code, active. Access granted. Sanji stiffened. It spoke to him again. The runes raced like bright rivers across the gate. Then, GRRRRRRRRRRNNNKKKKKK. The massive door slowly opened inward. Inside was light. A blue radiance that glowed from a towering, cylindrical structure pulsing like a titan's heartbeat. Raffi whistled. Well, that's ominous. Kane drew one sword. I don't trust it. Rovina's eyes were wild. I trust it completely. Get me closer. Namiya grabbed her collar before she sprinted inside. Sanji didn't move yet. His fingers twitched. Inside the chamber, he could feel something resonating. A presence. A memory. A legacy. Not his. But embedded within the core fused into him the day he transmigrated. His breathing slowed. So this is why I was drawn here. The calling. Before they entered, the crew formed up. Raffi stood at the front, giving orders with seriousness that only surfaces in life-or-death moments. Kane, Sanji front with me. Rovi, Namiya middle. Yusin, Frankie back guard. Kobe stay behind Namiya. Kobe, I am a doctor not a shield. Namiya, you're fluffy so it's fine. Kobe, I am not fluff, don't pat me, okay, maybe a little. Sanji chuckled softly. Even now, even in this sacred place, their crew rhythm never broke. The chamber of the first Skyfall King. They entered the glowing hall. As their eyes adjusted, the scale of the room hit them. A circular throne room. Walls carved with constellations. Floating pillars humming with ancient technology. A throne made of swirling crystal stood at the center. And floating above the throne, a suspended heart-like core, shining deep blue. Sanji's knees nearly buckled. His core reacted instantly. Be a thump. Be a thump. Be a thump. Louder. Stronger. Faster. So intense it felt like his chest was vibrating. Raffi glanced at him. You okay? Sanji exhaled shakily. Something's calling me. Hard. Namiya stepped closer, eyes full of worry. Your body, your aura are both reacting. Rovina's voice trembled in academic ecstasy. That mechanism, that suspended core, it's a power node. Skyfall civilization used these to create warriors hybrids able to use both haki and ancient energy. Frankie gaped. Like super soldiers. Rovina pointed directly at the core above the throne. But that one is the prime node. The central heart of Skyfall. It's Alexa's successor. Everyone turned toward Sanji. He froze. Why are you all staring at me? Kobe whispered. Because it's glowing brighter every time you breathe. Raffi scratched the back of his head. Well, that settles that. Cain nodded. You are chosen. Sanji balled his fists. I didn't come here to become anything. I came because I followed the story I once knew, because I wanted to help Luffy's world, because I wanted to protect my crewmates. But now the world was pushing back. Calling him. Choosing him. The trial awakens. The prime core pulsed harder. Then shattered outward like a blooming star. Energy rings exploded across the chamber. The crew staggered. The floor rippled. Pillars aligned. Walls shifted. And from the throne a figure of pure light materialized. Armor etched in celestial symbols. Eyes glowing like twin moons. Rovana screamed. That's the first king, the Skyfall progenitor. Raffi stepped forward. Friend or foe? The figure raised a hand. And the entire chamber trembled. In a voice that shook bone and spirit. Heir of the Germa Vector. To claim your right, you must withstand the trial of ascension. Cain drew both blades. Prepare yourselves. Sanji stepped forward, eyes sharp and calm. But inside, his transmigrator soul burned with fate. If this is destiny, then bring it. The progenitor raised its shining sword. Energy ignited the room. The trial began. Skyfall Arc Subchapter 4. Trial of Ascension, the King of Light descends. The moment the first Skyfall King descended from the throne in a cascade of radiant light, the entire island seemed to hold its breath. Wind halted. Clouds stilled. Even the waterfalls ringing the Skyfall continent seemed to quiet, trembling in anticipation. The crew stood frozen under the crushing weight of his presence. Raffi swallowed. That's not Haki. That's something else entirely. Cain's eyes sharpened, sensing patterns of power flowing in unnatural currents. Feels like the air's being sliced open. Nami Ya stepped back, touching the hilt of her Klimastaff. This pressure, it's suffocating. Kobe fluffed up to twice his size. My medical opinion is that this isn't healthy for anyone. Yusin grabbed Frankie. I think my soul just left my body, go on without me. Frankie slapped him. Your soul's super still here. Don't panic. Rovana stared forward with both terror and overwhelming academic delight. This is the first recorded manifestation of a Skyfall construct king. This is a Range Zero historical moment. Sanji didn't hear any of them. The progenitor's voice echoed through the chamber. Deep, layered, ancient. Heir of the Vector lineage. Your blood sings with dormant legacy. Reveal your truth. Sanji's core pulsed. Ba thump. Ba thump. Ba thump. Harder than ever before. Like the ancient note inside this chamber was pulling something out of him. Extracting what he was meant to become. Sanji inhaled slowly. So this is what the system was preparing me for. The trial begins. The Skyfall King vanished. No sound. No flash. Just gone. Cain's eyes widened. Above. A blazing arc of light slashed downward from the ceiling. Raffi reacted first. Sanji move. Sanji stepped forward, one footwork shift. And vanished. Wind cracked like thunder. In the space Sanji had been, the king's blade shredded the ground, carving a crater deep enough to sink a ship. Raffi and Cain charged in simultaneously. Raffi's rubber limbs snapped forward like firing cannons. Gomu Gomu Comet Smash. They hit the air with enough force to distort pressure. Cain opened with a dual blade style, his Haki-infused slashes forming green arcs. But clang. The king blocked both attacks in a single gesture. Not even looking at them. Instead, his gaze stayed on Sanji. Only the heir may face the trial. A wave of force blasted out. Raffi and Cain were thrown back across the chamber, skidding until they smashed into pillars. Nami Ya shouted. Raffi. Cain. They got up immediately, hurt, but alive. Raffi grinned, wiping blood off his lip. He's strong. But Sanji's stronger. Kane nodded firmly. Let him fight. This is his. Sanji vs the King of Light. Sanji lowered his center of gravity. Not flashy. Not screaming. Just preparation. He breathed out. And the wind walk ignited beneath his feet. The king's blade shimmered. They clashed. Sanji's kick collided with the king's energy blade. A shockwave blasted the chamber into a hurricane of light and debris. The impact rippled across the sky itself. The crew shielded their eyes. Frankie shouted over the roar. They're moving super fast, I can't even track them. Yusin nodded furiously. I can only see bright flashes and hear my own fear. Rovina mumbled in awe. He's fighting on equal footing with something beyond human. Namiya whispered. He's not going all out. He's hiding something. She was right. Sanji pushed off the ground, appearing behind the king in a blink, and unleashed rapid-fire kicks, each one wrapped in sharpened observation and armament haki. Skystep barrage. The king parried, but his body flickered with distortion. Your mastery grows. But you still deny your core. Sanji gritted his teeth. If he opened the core evolution completely, he might lose control. He might reveal everything. His reincarnation. His system. His hidden heritage. He wasn't ready yet. But the king didn't wait. He raised both arms. And the entire chamber lit up. 10 floating swords of pure light appeared, circling him like a deadly halo. Yusin screamed. Not just one sword. That's illegal. Kane narrowed his eyes. He's preparing a full-range annihilation technique. Raffi crouched low. Sanji. But Sanji was already moving. Unlocking the forbidden sense. The light swords launched at once. Sanji felt the world slow. The air shifted. The sounds dampened. His core pulsed in a tight rhythm. B.A. thump. B.A. thump. B.A. thump, asterisk. Then. Suddenly. Everything became clear. He could feel each sword. Sense their paths. Read every vibration of light and momentum. It wasn't just observation haki. It was spatial awareness. A derivative of the Skyfall King's own senses. Unlocked through proximity to the prime node. A haki sense hybrid. Sanji exhaled. So this is the instinct of this world's sky. He moved. Effortlessly. Perfectly. He spun between the swords, kicked some away, sidestepped others so precisely they missed by millimeters. Namiya's eyes widened in shock. He's weaving between light itself. Raffi's voice cracked with pride. That's our Sanji. Kane smirked. Hat. Show off. Sanji jumped above the king. Legs igniting in swirling blue-white wind. Gale strike. Ascending tempest. His heel crashed down. The king caught the blow barely. And cracked backward across the floor, gouging out a trench of shattered stone. The crew exploded in cheers. Yusin, he sent a god into a wall. Kobe, that move was medically impossible but I support it. Rovina, this is groundbreaking, no, sky-breaking. Frankie sobbed. So super beautiful. Sanji landed softly, dust swirling around him. But he didn't celebrate. Because the king stood again. Not angry. Not injured. Instead. With the faintest tone of approval. Your growth has not yet reached its peak. One final test. Air. Light gathered at the king's chest. Forming a spear of pure Skyfall essence. Sanji tightened his gloves. Readied his stance. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't just a cook now. He wasn't just a fighter. He wasn't just a reincarnated soul. He was Sanji. Crewmate of Raffi. protective guardian of Namiya, Rovina, Kobe, Yusin, Frankie, and Kane. Transmigrator carrying 2 lives worth of purpose. Bearer of a system tied to ancient Sky Kings. Hidden ace of the 1000 crest. And he wasn't done growing. Bring it. Subchapter 5: The Depths of Cauldries. The descent into Cauldries' depths didn't feel like entering a dungeon. It felt like the world itself was exhaling warm breath against their faces. An ancient beast waking from a very long, very bad nap. The stairs spiraled in a hollow cylinder, walls carved with symbols none of them recognized. Blue flames flickered to life as the crew stepped past each level, as if greeting them. Or warning them. And at the front of the group marched Raffi, their captain, cloak fluttering, eyes sharp. To his right walked Kane, blade slung over his shoulders unfazed, and behind them Sanji, hands tucked in his pockets, calm as a man going on a stroll. And if anyone noticed his eyes glowing faintly whenever a blue flame lit, no one said a word. Won the descent and Sanji's bad feeling. Oi, why are these torches lighting up by themselves? Yusin whispered. Because ghosts, Kobe murmured, instantly shaking. Relax, Sanji said, though his tone wasn't quite relaxed. His instincts were buzzing. System core, responding to energy. Ancient energy. Something compatible. It felt like warm threads weaving across his consciousness. System notice. Unknown energy signature detected. Compatibility 72%. Potential synchronization. He didn't show a thing on his face. Captain, Sanji called quietly, keeping pace with Raffi. If something's down there, it knows we're coming. Raffi grinned. That just means we're doing it right. Behind them, the crew immediately argued. No, that means we should not be doing this. Kobe. Stop whining. We've fought worse. Rovina. When did we fight worse? Kobe. SHH. Sanji snorted, hiding a smile with a cough. To the door of Cauldries. They reached the bottom. A colossal door made of black crystal stood embedded in the stone. Its surface pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. The instant Sanji stepped forward, the crystal flared. Lines of energy crawled across the floor, spiraling toward him. And only him. Kane's grip tightened on his swords. Raffi stepped forward protectively. Sanji. What's happening? The door likes me, Sanji deadpanned. The crew stared. What kind of answer is that? Yusin. Sanji sighed and approached. His system core throbbed with warmth, wanting. No urging him to touch the door. He placed his palm against the crystal. System partial synchronization initiated. A blast of wind swept outward. The crystal cracked open like ice splitting. And the door slowly slid open with a deep groan. A tunnel of shimmering blue light stretched inside. Raffi whistled. Well, you opened it. Lead the way, Sanji. Sanji scratched his cheek. I didn't do anything. You existed, Rovina replied. Apparently that's enough to open legendary ancient doors. 3. The Hall of Echoes. Inside, pillars rose like giant fangs. The ground had markings glowing faintly with azure patterns. Sanji's heartbeat synced with the rhythm of the lights. He felt something in his chest. His Germa 66 system core adjusting, evolving. Raffi walked beside him. If this place reacts to you, be ready. We might need whatever trick you've got. Sanji shrugged. I'll keep you alive. If that counts as a trick. More than enough. Kane grunted agreement. From behind, the crew whispered. Look at them, cool trio moment. Yusin. Yet. They walk like the main characters. Kobe. Sanji is the protagonist. I mean, look at the lighting. The dungeon literally spotlights him. Rovina. Sanji almost tripped. Will you stop saying weird stuff behind me? For the Guardian awakens. They entered a vast chamber. And instantly, walls lit up. Energy surged. Patterns converged. A shape pulled itself from the floor. A towering knight of obsidian armor, reinforced with glowing blue runes. Its voice vibrated through the chamber. Intruders, submit or perish. It held a great sword made of pure light. Even Cain stiffened. Raffi cracked his knuckles. We fight. But Sanji stepped ahead first. His veins pulsed with a new power. He could feel it. The dungeon's energy flowed into his system core, synthesizing with his soul. System notice. Core sync completed. New ability, Soul Forge Booster, LV1. Effect, temporary physical and HAKI augmentation through soul infusion. His legs felt light. Hot. Electric. Perfect for kicking. The boss roared and lunged. Sanji moved first. 5. The fight hidden strength, revealed in shadows. Sanji vanished. Or rather, moved so fast the crew lost sight of him. He appeared under the boss's guard, spinning. Kick HAKI enhanced boom. The entire chamber shook. Raffi blinked. Cain's eyes widened. He's faster than before, Raffi muttered. No, he's way stronger than before, Cain corrected. Sanji didn't stop, chaining strikes. Arc step. Blue flame round kick. Soul fused heel drop. His kicks left streaks of blue fire. A fusion of Haki and his new system ability. The Guardian staggered. Sanji landed lightly and called over his shoulder. Captain. Cain. Let's finish it together. Their shock lasted one heartbeat. Then Raffi sprinted forward, gear pulse surging through his limbs. Cain followed, drawing both swords, aura blazing. Sanji launched upward. Raffi aimed for the core. Cain for the legs. And Sanji. Straight for the head. All 3 strikes connected. Crack. The Guardian shattered in a radiant explosion. Light scattered like falling feathers. Silence. Then. Kobe, did we just beat a dungeon boss? Yusin, we're alive. We're actually alive. Rovina, Sanji, what are you? Nami ya, he's so dreamy when he fights. Sanji, Nami ya on. Even in a dungeon, he twirled around with sparkles. Raffi laughed, clapping his shoulder. No hiding your power next time. But, thank you. We needed you. Sanji's smile softened. I protect my crew. That's all. 6 rewards of the depths. The room shifted. Stone grinding apart to reveal 3 pedestals. 1 pulsed red. 1 blue. 1 gold. Raffi approached the red pedestal. His palm glowing in resonance. Captain Raffi new skill. Gear pulse. Stage 2 unlocked. Cain's swords hummed near the blue pedestal. Cain new technique. Twin void cut. And Sanji. The gold pedestal erupted in light the moment he neared it. A small crystalline cube floated out, orbiting him, then sinking into his chest. Sanji system expansion. Germa Soul Catalyst engine activated. He inhaled sharply as his haki flared involuntarily. Raffi saw it. Cain felt it. But Sanji forced his aura down. We good? Can we go? The captain grinned. We're more than good. 7 exit, an unease. The path back up was brighter now, torches burning pleasantly. The crew chatted, buzzing with adrenaline. Did you see me dodge that falling rock? Fast, right? Yusin. No. It missed you by accident. Rovina. I did something cool too. I screamed very loudly. Kobe. That counts, Namiya said kindly. But Raffi kept glancing at Sanji. And Cain. Kane stared openly with quiet calculation. Sanji felt both gazes. He sighed. He knew this couldn't last. Sooner or later, someone would realize. He wasn't like them. He wasn't of this world. And his system was evolving at a pace that defied every rule. But for now, he smiled at his crew bickering. For now, he was just Sanji. The cook. The kicker. The shadow protector. And the unknown key to whatever lay deeper in this world. Subchapter 6 The surface stirs. The moment the crew emerges from Cauldry's depths, the world is not the same. Cold wind slammed into them the second they stepped out of the colossal stone arch that marked the dungeon's exit. The shift was instantaneous, like leaving a deep sea and exploding into a storm above it. The sky was steel gray, clouds swirling unnaturally, as though the heavens had been stirred by some giant hand. Sanji felt it first. A pulse. Not from the sky. Not from the ground. From his own core, as if the system inside him braced for something he could not yet name. His boot scraped over wet stone. A low rumble vibrated beneath his soul. That's new, Yusin muttered, clutching his slingshot with both hands. Wasn't this place sunny when we went in? Pretty sure my hair wasn't this wet. It was sunny, Namiya confirmed, fixing her hairstyle as the wind whipped it into chaos. And no cloud formations move that fast naturally. Something's wrong. Raffi stepped forward, tightening the red sash at his waist. His eyes narrowed into that uncanny, captain-like focus that always appeared when danger hovered at the edge of the world. Everyone spread out and check the area. But stay close enough to back each other up. Kane cracked his neck. If something's waiting outside, good. I haven't finished cooling down from that fight. Kobe peeked out from behind Frankie's giant shoulder. Maybe it's just the weather. A bolt of lightning slammed into the water beyond the cliffs so loud and close that everyone flinched except Sanji. Because Sanji wasn't watching the sky. He was staring at the footprints. Fresh. Deep. And human. Leading away from the dungeon entrance and into the fog creeping along the coast. Something or someone was here while they were inside. His core pulsed again. High voltage sign system note. External anomalous energy detected. Threat level pending. Sanji inhaled slowly. I hate it when the system gets cryptic. The stench of battle. Rovina approached the footprints first, her own steps graceful, almost weightless. With a sweep of her hand, tiny petals of light, her devil fruit manifestation spun out and settled over the indentations. Impression reading, she murmured. Something heavy, fast, and angry passed through. Recently. Very recently. Kane touched the ground. Sharp heel marks. They were running. Pursuing something or fleeing it. Yusin raised a finger. Okay, so hear me out, we decide it was fleeing us. That boosts morale. Kobe nodded quickly. I like that idea. Frankie let out a metallic sigh. That theory is statistically unlikely. Frankie, buddy, Yusin groaned. Your statistics ruin everything fun. Raffi ignored them. His gaze traveled the horizon with absolute focus. This feeling, this pressure. It's the same as back in Water 7. Sanji, you feel it too, right? Sanji clenched his fists in his coat pockets. Yet. Something strong was here. Something that shouldn't be. His eyes flickered with faint armament energy, a reflex he didn't consciously summon. The sky growled overhead. The storm begins to speak. A shadow moved within the fog. Everyone's body stiffened. Slow at first, then faster, until a figure burst out, stumbling across the rocky ground and collapsing right in front of the crew. A man. Injured. Breathing shallowly. His clothes were torn, badge shattered at his hip. Rovina knelt immediately. He's alive. Kane lifted the man's arm. There was a symbol burned into the skin. Government, he muttered darkly. But not SD9. No, Raffi said, expression grim. This one's from the normal branches. The man opened his eyes barely. They took it, he gasped. The artifact, the second half of the blueprints. They took it. Silence. Cold. Heavy. Sanji's head lowered a fraction. So it wasn't over. The blueprints weren't complete after all. The man's trembling hand reached to grip Sanji's pant leg. They left a message. For your crew. Raffi stepped forward. The man swallowed hard, voice cracking. They said, come to Azure Break Isle if you want your fight. Then he went limp alive, but unconscious. Thunder roared above them again as if punctuating the severity of his words. The crew's reactions. Namiya exhaled, voice tight. A trap. Obviously. Yusin nodded furiously. Yup, 100% trap. Certified by my coward's intuition. Kane rested a hand on his sword. Traps are fine. We slice through them. Kobe's tiny voice wavered. But, the blueprints. Frankie's eyes burned with mechanical fury. They're playing with fire. No one touches those designs without understanding what they awaken. Rovina stood. Her petals swirled around her like faint embers. Azure Break Isle, the name alone carries weight. Raffi stepped into the center, raising his chin against the harsh wind. We go, he said. We have to. Everyone looked toward him. Except Sanji. His eyes were already on the horizon. On the storm. On the direction of the unknown enemy. And deep in his core. High voltage sign system update. Hidden source signature detected. High voltage sign resonance. 16% approaching threshold. High voltage sign Sanji. Prepare yourself. Your evolution is accelerating. He exhaled sharply. I know. I can feel it. The soul fragment fused into his germa core throbbed again, reacting to danger, to purpose, to destiny. Sanji felt the sensation crawl through his muscles like hot electricity. Not painful. Empowering. Like fire swirling inside tempered steel. His growth was speeding up again. Whether he wanted it or not. Lightning split the sky. Wind tore at their coats. The fog around the cliffs curled like serpents. And the unconscious agent laid at their feet, carrying an omen of a greater storm. Raffi's voice cut through the rumbling heavens. Everyone prepare the ship. Azure Break Isle will be our next destination. The crew nodded. But Sanji didn't move immediately. He stood still, gazing at the roiling sky. Remembering once again. He did not belong to this world. He only lived in it now. With knowledge no one else had. With a system fused to his soul. And with a path that was no longer predictable. Because now, the enemies weren't following the anime anymore. They were evolving too. And the next battle would be nothing like the ones he remembered. Sanji flicked his lighter closed and stepped forward at last. All right, he said quietly, a smirk touching his lips. Let's see what fate's cooking this time. Subchapter 7 Setting sail with chaos, as usual. The storm clouds were thinning, the wind sharpening, and the horizon pulsing with the distant silhouette of Azure Break Isle. A dangerous mission lay ahead. A serious plot was unfolding. A powerful new threat challenged them. And yet, somehow, the Sunny Gale crew ended up in complete, ridiculous chaos the moment they reached their ship. The moment they boarded. It started with Kobe. Little hoofs skidding, he hopped onto the deck. And slipped immediately. Raffi caught him midair by the scruff. Bro, calm down. I am calm. Kobe bad, kicking wildly. Everyone laughed. Sanji cracked a small smile too, though he tried to hide it. Namiya versus the Wines. Namiya marched up the mast, fighting the still angry Wines as she attempted to read the sky with her sextant. Sanji. I need precise wind direction. North-northwest or just northwest? Sanji glanced up. North by a half. If you angle the sail 2 degrees more. 2 degrees? Sanji, this is a pirate ship, not a universal navigation exam. Yusin whispered to Raffi. Why is she yelling at him when he's helping? Because she's embarrassed she didn't notice it first, Raffi whispered back. Nami threw a rope at both of them. I heard that. Kane's training. And the broken deck. Kane, meanwhile, already started sword training on deck. WHSHK. WHSHK. Boom. A chunk of the railing exploded. Frankie panicked. Kane, bro, my ship, why? It was an accident. You said that last time. I say it every time. Kane, please. Sanji lit his cigarette. Let him be. He's fired up. Nami shouted from the mast, not literally, please. USCN's heroic, diluted, bravery. Yusin stepped forward dramatically. Ladies and gentlemen, as your soon-to-be bravest fighter, I will personally defend the ship's honor. He pointed to the railing gap. Frankie, fetch me nails. Frankie sighed. Finally, some help. Yusin raised a hammer. I shall repair this with the courage of a lion. Crack. Crack, crack. Crunch. He hammered his fingers. Screaming. Rolling. Rolling more. Kobe rushed to him, panicked. Medical emergency. Medical emergency. We need bandages and emotional support. Rafna shouted from across the deck. Use sleeves. They're free. Frankie collapsed to his knees. This crew gives me emotional injuries. Rovina joins the chaos. Rovina floated down from the upper deck like a princess descending from the heavens. Until she tripped on Yusin. Thwump. Petals exploded everywhere like confetti. I'm okay, she called. Mostly. Yusin, face flattened, I am not. Sanji, exasperated. Why does every island we leave start like this? Every time. Raffi put an arm around his shoulder. Bro. It's the vibe. The vibe. Yeah. Our vibe. In other words, Yusin added, still on the floor, we are, how do I say this nicely, morally and mentally unbalanced. The cooking scene, the comedy peak. Everyone sit, Sanji commanded. The entire crew froze. Then obeyed instantly. Because no one, absolutely no one, wanted to anger the chef before a meal. Sanji sliced vegetables with the speed of a master assassin. Pan flames roared like a dragon. The kitchen filled with the smell of butter, spices, and something that made the sunlight itself seem jealous. Rovina, this smells divine. Nami, I can feel my soul healing. Yusin, my fingers still hurt but also, not really. Kane, serious, this is the taste of power. Raffi, drooling, Sanji, bro, feed us. Sanji shot him a side eye. Sit down properly first. Captain shouldn't drool on the deck. Raffi immediately wiped his mouth on his sleeve. Yes, sir. The moment Sanji served the plates. Silence. Glorious silence. The kind only a perfect chef can summon. Then. Raffi, oh my god, perfection. Kane, I feel my muscles evolving. Kobe, I can see colors I've never seen before. USEN, sobbing, my fingers don't hurt anymore. Sanji, is this what heaven tastes like? Frankie slammed his mechanical hand on the table so hard the plates jumped. Sanji, you are not a chef. You are a blessing. A legend. A culinary godfather. Stop yelling while eating, Sanji snapped. Frankie lowered his head like a scolded puppy. Yes, chef. The transmigrator moment. Sanji leaned on the railing afterward, staring at the sea as the crew argued about who ate the fastest. He watched them laugh. He listened to Kobe and Yusin blame each other for dropping dishes. He heard Raffi tell Kane to stop training on the table. And he felt something warm inside, a sense of belonging he never had in the world he came from. I'm a transmigrator, he reminded himself silently. But somehow, I ended up exactly where I needed to be. High voltage sign system core stabilizing. High voltage sign team synergy increased. High voltage sign user, emotional strength +1. Sanji snorted. Even the system's sentimental now? What's next, telling me to believe in friendship? High voltage sign? Recalculating. He laughed. The ship sails toward Treble. Raffi stood at the front of the ship, wind whipping his coat. Next stop, Azure Break Isle. We're gonna kick whoever's butt stole our blueprints. The entire crew cheered. Sanji lit another cigarette. His eyes narrowed, determined. And I'll be there in the shadows, he murmured, making sure we all get through it. The sunny gale cut through the waves, carrying a crew of idiots, heroes, disasters, and legends. Straight toward the next arc. Subchapter 8. When the sea itself bows, Sanji's new power awakens. The sunny gale cut toward Azure Break Isle, slicing through the early dawn sea like a blade drawn from its sheath. The sky still remembered last night's storm clouds, slow and heavy, bruised with the fading traces of thunder. Most of the crew slept in scattered poses around the deck. Except one. Sanji. He stood alone at the bow, cigarette glowing like a tiny star, eyes fixed on the horizon. His mind was quiet, until it wasn't. Because deep inside his chest, inside the strange, ever-shifting Germa system core, something turned. Something clicked. Something woke. The system stirs. High voltage sign core charge, 97%. High voltage sign Vinsmgeen gene thread, activated. High voltage sign combat synergy detected, recalibrating secondary paths. Sanji narrowed his eyes. Again? You're getting louder. The sea breeze whipped his coat, scattering embers from the cigarette. The world grew quieter around him, almost unnaturally so. Even the creaking boards of the ship felt like they were holding their breath. High voltage sign user has demonstrated. Advanced Kanbunshoku. Proto-Busashoku. Adaptive reflexes. High-speed combat footwork. High voltage sign requirements met. Unlocking next tier. Sanji exhaled slowly. Next tier of what? The answer came violently. High voltage sign unlocking. Hyperflow channels. A jolt ran through Sanji's body, sharp, clean, electric. Not pain. Not pleasure. Something in between. Something alive. His pulse synced with the system. His breath stilled. His muscles vibrated. And then, the world changed. The world slowed. Not metaphorically. Literally. The waves moved like honey. A gull above him flapped wings as if trapped underwater. The ship drifted centimeter by centimeter. Sanji blinked. Holy sh, what is this? High voltage sign new ability acquired, Hyperflow sense. High voltage sign description. Allows user to enter a microtime perception state for 2-4 seconds. During this window, user gains ultra acceleration of thought, enhanced predictive movement, perfect muscle coordination. High voltage sign warning, heavy stamina consumption. Use sparingly. Sanji flexed his fingers. It didn't feel like a power borrowed from something else. It felt like something he always had. Like a hidden switch inside his genetics and soul had finally been flipped. Then the core pulsed again. The second unlocked the epic one. High voltage sign core stabilization at 100%. High voltage sign soul fusion response, increasing resonance. High voltage sign checking lineage compatibility. Vinsmoke factor. Germa data. System integration. High voltage sign processing. High voltage sign processing. High voltage sign processing. The horizon trembled. The wood under his feet vibrated. Even the air felt thick, heavy, expectant. High voltage sign new system protocol approved. High voltage sign user recognized as Vinsmoke variant singular evolution. Sanji froze. Variant. High voltage sign yes. No other Vinsmoke possesses your fusion profile. You are unique. He swallowed. What the hell are you turning me into? High voltage sign the optimal version of yourself. And then it hit. With force. With brilliance. With fire. The epic power unlocked. No explosion. No lightning. No dramatic scream. Just heat. Pure, golden, terrifying heat that rushed through his legs like molten sunlight. Sanji braced against the railing. His muscles wound tight. His veins lit like embers. The air shimmered around his lower body. High voltage sign new combat module unlocked. Soul burn. The name echoed like a hammer striking steel. High voltage sign description. A lineage exclusive ability derived from Vinsmoke heat resistance and enhanced Busos Hoku potential and system fusion. Allows user to channel controlled thermal energy through legs, creating heat-enhanced kicks. Kinetic power amplification. Short-range combustion bursts. Sun steps. High-speed aerial maneuvering. High-voltage sign user note. This is not a devil fruit. This is you. Sanji stared at his own legs. Golden steam rose from them like the breath of a sleeping sun. Soul burn, he whispered. It felt right. Hot, but controlled. A furnace with a leash. He lifted one foot lightly. A tiny sun flare burst and disappeared. He smirked. Oh yeah, this is insane. Testing IT secretly. Sanji stepped back to the center of the deck, ensuring everyone remained asleep. Then, kick. The air cracked like a whip. A heat line carved through the mist. He grinned wider. Another kick. A shockwave rippled so far it parted the sea surface 30 meters away. If Raffi saw this he'd absolutely scream. He tried a third. Sun step. A golden burst under his foot sent him upward. 5 meters into the air. Silent, smooth, weightless. He twirled once, landing gently like a falling feather. And the best part? No one saw. Not even Kobe, who snored on a barrel. Sanji exhaled. Good. Let's keep it that way. The system speaks again. High voltage sign additional upgrade available. Sanji raised an eyebrow. There's more. High voltage sign because user is a transmigrator. Your soul contains fragments outside this world's limits. System has begun syncing with those memories. Sanji felt a chill. Meaning. High voltage sign meaning your potential ceiling is far, far above Germa. Sanji stared at the horizon, the rising sun painting his silhouette gold. He was breathing harder now. Not from exhaustion, but from the realization. He was becoming something that never existed in this world. Not a Vinsmoke soldier. Not a regular pirate. Not just Sanji. Something new. Something terrifying. Something legendary. And none of the crew knew. He took a slow drag of his cigarette. Let's keep this secret. High voltage sign acknowledged. Entering silent mode. The system dimmed. The golden heat faded. The world regained speed. And behind him, Raffi yawned loudly, stretching like a lazy lion. Morning, Sanji brew what's for breakfast. Sanji turned, perfectly calm, hands in pockets. Something to wake all of you idiots up. Subchapter 9 The Tidebringer arrives. The sunny gale glided toward Azure Break Isle, its sails bright under the now rising sun. Waves glittered. Gulls squawked. Kobe tried to eat one and got pecked on the forehead, Ow. Why does nature hate me? He screamed, running in circles. Raffi snorted. Bro, even the birds know you're a walking disaster. Kobe puffed up. Oh yeah? Well you. Sanji drop-kicked them both into a neat pile against the mast. Breakfast first. Fights later. The system quietly watches. As Sanji passed by, the system pulsed faintly but stayed muted, as ordered. High voltage sign hyperflow, stable. High voltage sign soul burn, 97% efficiency. Sanji took a calm drag of his cigarette. No one could know. Not yet. Azure Breakisle first sight. Azure Breakisle appeared out of the morning haze like a floating citadel of stone. Tall cliffs. Blue fog hugging the edges. Ruins of ancient buildings peeking from the treetops. And on the shore, a massive ship, half embedded into a giant rock. It looked like a warship that decided to park using violence. Kobe squinted. Who the hell parks like that? Raffi adjusted his coat. Someone who doesn't care about insurance. As they got closer, they saw the figure standing atop the smashed ship. Tall. Armored in scale-like plates. Hair like dark seaweed drifting despite the wind. Eyes glowing faintly turquoise. And behind him, a giant whirlpool spinning unnaturally in place. Raffi froze. Sanji raised an eyebrow. Kobe whispered, does whirlpools normally stay still like frozen spaghetti? No, Raffi muttered. No, they don't. The antagonist steps forward. The figure leapt from the ship onto the dock with a splash that sent water spiraling upward and not down. Then he spoke, voice calm and silky. Welcome, little pirates. His hand rose, and the sea rose with it like a massive serpent of water coiling behind him. I am Ludwig Tideborn, holder of the abyss fruit. The wave serpent twisted, forming an open mouth behind him. An owner of this island. Sanji flicked ash off his cigarette. Oh great. Another self-important sea freak. Ludwig's smile sharpened. You mock me. Kobe whispered, Sanji, stop, this man is made of water. Raffi stayed silent, eyes narrowing. Something in his gut tingled like he'd seen this kind of power before. Abyss fruit what it does. Ludwig spread his arms. The whirlpool behind him grew wider, deeper, darker. When I touch water, I become the water. The dock groaned under the pressure. Mist curled around them. The sea level dipped unnaturally. My body can dissolve into the depths, move through currents, reshape the ocean like clay. A wicked grin. And I can drown an island with a breath. Sanji muttered under his breath. Well, that's just lovely. Comedic interruption. Before Ludwig could continue his evil monologue. Splash. Kobe fell face first into the sea. Ludwig blinked. Did your crewmate just? Kobe screamed from underwater. Help. I can't swim. I am literally negative buoyancy. Ludwig stared. You brought that. Raffi face-palmed. Yes. Yes, we did. Ludwig sighed in disappointment, as if the hero party arrived with a broken Pokemon. Sanji saves Kobe but in secret. Sanji moved. Not fast. Not flashy. Just a casual stroll forward. But to him, hyperflow kicked in. The world slowed. The waves paused mid-crest. Kobe froze mid-scream. Raffi hung mid-eye roll. Sanji stepped onto the water lightly. Sun step. A golden puff under his foot. He grabbed Kobe by the collar, lifted him up, and returned to the dock all in under a second. Time resumed. Kobe gasped on the wood boards. How did I get saved so fast? Raffi blinked. Did anyone see Sanji move? Ludwig narrowed his eyes. No. Sanji smirked, hands in pockets. Maybe the sea just spat you out because you taste bad. Kobe sniffled. Why do you bully me while saving me? Ludwig's demonstration. Ludwig snapped his fingers. The entire shoreline rose. A massive wall of dark, abyssal water curled above them like the open jaw of a titanic sea monster. Raffi stepped forward. We're looking for something. Something called the... Ludwig cut him off. I know exactly why the Sun Prince has come. Raffi froze. Sanji's cigarette dropped from his mouth. Ludwig smiled, eyes glowing brighter. You seek the memory core. The key to rewriting a fate you failed to prevent. Sanji's mind jolted. He knows. Ludwig extended a hand, water spiraling around his arm. But destiny belongs to the ocean. And I am its voice. The water wall bent inward toward them. A tsunami shaped like a wolf's maw. Now let's see what the Sun Prince and his little band can do. Sanji flicked his lighter. Not enough to beat your ego, that's for sure. Raffi exhaled, drawing his weapon. Kobe screamed and hid inside a barrel. And the water wolf lunged. Subchapter 10 The Abyss opens its jaws. The wave wolf exploded toward them, a colossal mass of spiraling water shaped like a predator lunging for prey. The air vibrated. The dock cracked. The sea screamed. Raffi stepped forward instinctively, blade drawn, stance sharp. Sanji exhaled a long, slow breath. Kobe dove into the nearest barrel. Nope, 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 I'm not ready for hydro-based trauma. The barrel rolled away, slammed into a post, and wedged itself in place upside down. Muffled sobbing echoed from within. The first clash. Raffi slashed. A line of golden light shot upward clean, fast, and powerful. It carved the water wolf down the middle. For a moment, the massive attack split apart like curtains. Then closed again instantly. Raffi's eyes widened. The wolf's watery jaws opened wider. Sanji stepped behind him. You're going to get swallowed at this rate. Raffi didn't look back. Then do something. Sanji flicked ash off his cigarette. He didn't flare power. Didn't glow. Didn't shout an attack name. He simply tapped the ground with his foot. Sun step first edge. A burst of force rippled, not visible but undeniably present. The air popped. The water wolf's head jerked sideways. Raffi stared. Did that just... Sanji kept walking past him casually. Must have been the wind. Raffi's eye twitched. That was not the wind. But before he could finish, the wolf lunged again. Sanji vs water, secretly. Sanji spun. No one could see the hyperflow aura flickering under his skin. Not really. Not unless they knew what to look for. Time stretched. He stepped onto the wolf's jaw. Then onto its snout. Then he kicked upward. A single, effortless motion. Thwom. The water wolf evaporated into mist. Time returned. To everyone else, it looked like the water just burst open by itself. Raffi blinked in awe. Kobe peeked out of the barrel. Even Ludwig frowned. Curious, Ludwig murmured. The sea reacts strangely around you. Sanji shrugged. Maybe the ocean's scared of my cooking. Kobe perked up. Hey, you made amazing. Oh. Sanji roundhouse kicked the barrel shut. Ludwig reveals true power. Ludwig didn't move his feet. But the island did. The shoreline cracked open. A whirlpool opened under his feet. Water spun, twisting up his legs like armor. His voice deepened. The abyss fruit does not merely control water. The sea behind him warped, rising into shapes, towers, tendrils, ghostly silhouettes. It commands the ocean's memory. Raffi shuddered. The ocean has memory. Ludwig nodded. And it remembers drowning kings. And sinking empires. And screaming men dragged into the trench. The water formed a massive fist above the group. Ludwig smiled. And now, it will remember you. The giant abyssal fist descends. Raffi stepped forward again. I'll block that. Sanji grabbed his shoulder. No. You'll die. Raffi froze. Sanji. Trust me. Raffi hated it. But the certainty in Sanji's voice made his muscles lock. The fist came down. Boom. The dock exploded as a crater was smashed into it. A shockwave roared across the shore. Splinters flew everywhere. But when the smoke cleared, Sanji stood in front of Raffi, coat fluttering. One leg raised. He'd blocked the entire abyssal fist with a single kick. Raffi stared. Sanji, how? Sanji lowered his leg. Balance is everything in cooking. Raffi. That doesn't even make sense. Ludwig finally gets serious. Ludwig's smile sharpened. So, the rumors were true. Sanji arched a brow. What rumors? That the Sun Prince's shadow hides a monster. Sanji clicked his tongue. TCH. He really didn't like people calling him that. Behind Ludwig, the sea roared again, this time so violently that the sky dimmed. Clouds twisted. Lightning danced across rising water pillars. Ludwig stretched out his arms wide. Let me show you a drowning fit for legends. Kane makes his entrance, late, of course. Boom. A boulder flew from the jungle and smashed into Ludwig's water pillar, scattering it. Raffi jerked around. Sanji smirked. Kobe yelled, the beanpole is here. Kane walked out of the jungle, sword on shoulder. Oi. You idiots start a boss fight without me. He cracked his neck. I saw the giant wave from the forest. Thought Sanji burned breakfast again. Sanji flicked his cigarette at him. Shut up. And help. Kane planted his feet and drew his blade fully. You had me at help. 3 against the abyss. The trio stepped forward. Raffi, fire of determination in his eyes. Kane, sword humming with barely contained power. Sanji, posture relaxed but aura quietly roaring like a star. Ludwig towered above the sea with a dark grin. A prince. A swordsman. And a shadow. He raised both hands. Come, then. Let the abyss judge you. The entire shoreline erupted in water shadows shaped like drowned warriors, all charging toward them. Raffi exhaled. Kane smiled. Sanji cracked his knuckles. Subchapter 11: The Abyss vs 3 Monsters. The shoreline erupted. 1,000 water phantoms, warriors formed from the ocean's darkest memories, charged with weapons raised, each dripping with pressure so heavy the ground cracked beneath them. Raffi's heartbeat thundered. Kane's blade hummed. Sanji flicked away the last ember of his cigarette. One Raffi the spark before the storm. Raffi lunged first. His blade cut through a dozen water warriors, but each time he sliced, they reformed. His breathing sharpened. Pressure built inside his chest like steam begging for release. Not enough. I need more. A phantom twice the size of a normal one slammed into him, sending him skidding back. Raffi growled and planted his feet. His vision blurred red. His pulse accelerated unnaturally fast. His skin flushed with heat. And his hands. They started steaming. Raffi blinked. What? Sanji's eyes widened for a fleeting instant. So it finally starts. Raffi didn't know what was happening. But his instincts screamed. Go faster. He clenched his fists. Steam curled from his elbows. His muscles tightened, condensed, and then... Phoom. Raffi shot forward in a blur of crimson steam, faster than he had ever moved in his life. The ground exploded under his feet. He vanished and reappeared behind the phantom, cutting clean through it. The steam around him intensified. Not gear second. But close. born from his unique physiology and battle spirit. A new technique. Ignition mode. Raffi gasped. I don't know what that is, but this feels awesome. He blitzed into the army of water warriors, slashing dozens apart in rapid-fire bursts. Each strike made steam blast off his body like miniature explosions. Every movement faster, sharper, hotter. Kane stared with his jaw dropping. What the? When did he become a steam engine? Kobe shouted from the barrel. Raffi turned into a pressure cooker. Sanji smiled faintly. This is perfect. He's awakening at the right pace. Raffi didn't notice any of them. His world had become movement and heat. And he was loving it. To Kane, the sword that cuts the tide. Meanwhile, Kane stepped forward. The Phantom Army parted around him, but not because they were afraid, because a massive shadow loomed over him. One phantom was 3 stories tall, dual-wielding water axes that glowed with Ludwig's aura. It slammed one axe down. Kane caught it. With one arm. His boots sank into the stone. The ground cratered. But he didn't budge. Kane looked up with a bored expression. You're big. Then he grinned. But I'm stronger. He shoved the axe upward, sending the towering phantom stumbling back. Kane inhaled deeply and placed his hand on the pommel of his blade. Raffi gets steam. Sanji's being mysterious again. He flexed. Guess I'll show off a bit. He drew his sword. Shingug. A deep, echoing vibration thundered through the battlefield. Raffi paused mid-slash. Sanji raised an eyebrow. Kobe peeked out with a trembling voice. That's not normal. Kane pointed his blade forward. A spiraling black-red aura wrapped around the steel. A storm condensed around him. His voice lowered. Tidebreaker style. He slashed. Once. Silently. Then. Boom. An invisible shockwave ripped out in a straight line, splitting the giant phantom in half. Then splitting the water behind it. Then splitting the sea floor itself. Water parted violently for an entire kilometer like a reversed tsunami. Raffi's jaw dropped. Sanji blinked. Kobe fainted. Kane exhaled and rested his blade on his shoulder. All right. Who's next? 3 Sanji, the man who doesn't need to try. Ludwig watched the destruction with widening eyes. Impressive. But pointless. He raised both hands. Tidal waves rose behind him. Currents spun violently. Deep sea pressure swirled like jaws ready to bite. The abyss does not run dry. Sanji walked toward him. Not fast. Not slow. Just, casually. Ludwig tensed. You are the dangerous one. Sanji stretched his neck. Casual. And you're loud. The ocean surged into a giant vortex behind Ludwig. He thrust his hand forward. Abyssal maw. A gargantuan whirlpool exploded outward like a black hole of seawater, enough force to erase an entire fleet. Sanji didn't move. He didn't raise a leg. Didn't change stance. He just whispered. System hyperflow calibration. Release 0.5%. His core hummed. Golden circuitry lit up beneath his skin like glowing tattoos. His right leg heated. Air warped. Time bent. And he kicked. Once. A tiny flick. Barely a movement. Tap. Yet. Krishhuam. The entire abyssal maw split open like paper. Water evaporated. The vortex imploded. The sea recoiled. A shockwave tore the clouds apart overhead. Raffi froze mid-attack. Kane stopped breathing for a second. Every phantom on the battlefield disintegrated instantly. Ludwig's eyes went wide. What? What are you? Sanji lowered his leg and smiled gently. A cook. He vanished. Reappeared in front of Ludwig. Kicked him straight in the stomach, Why, Mom? Ludwig shot through 3 water pillars, plowed across the seafloor, and detonated against a coral wall hundreds of meters away. Silence. Raffi whispered. Sanji, what percentage was that? Sanji walked past casually. None of your business. Kane pointed at him. That was not 0.5%. That was a natural disaster. Kobe awoke in tears. I thought I died twice. For Ludwig, the final form. The ocean trembled. Suddenly. Bohuayam. A massive whirlpool erupted beneath the coral ridge. A figure rose from the sea. Ludwig. But transformed. His body coated in obsidian water armor. Eyes glowing tide blue. Behind him, massive wings of water spread outward. Raffi shivered. Kane steadied his stance. Sanji cracked his knuckles. Ludwig's voice echoed like a deep-sea leviathan. I am the abyss's avatar. Tidal waves rose on all sides, ready to devour the shore. Ludwig spread his arms. Now drown. Subchapter 12 Avatar of the Abyss vs 3 Monsters. The sea roared like something ancient had awakened. A towering figure rose completely from the waves. Ludwig, no longer a man but a living embodiment of the ocean's wrath. Obsidian armor clung to him like volcanic glass, blue veins pulsed with abyssal energy, wings made of roaring tide water spread behind him like a great sea dragon. Every wave around the island bowed inward, pulled by his power. Even the clouds twisted into spirals overhead. Sanji, Raffi, and Kane stood together on the fractured shore. The rest of the crew watched from the safer cliffs, Namiya gripping her staff, Rovina clutching her cape, Yusin praying, and Kobe hiding behind Frank's leg. When the sea trembles. Ludwig's voice boomed like a submerged explosion. I am the abyss. I am depth. I am end. He raised one hand. From the sea, 8 colossal water serpents burst forth, each the size of a galleon, each hissing with razor-toothed currents. They spiraled toward the trio. Raffi exhaled steam. Kane steadied his blade. Sanji brushed ash from his sleeve. Kane muttered. Hey Sanji, do not say you can one-shot those things. Sanji took a drag of his cigarette. I can one-shot those things. Raffi shouted, please don't. Let us shine a little. The serpents roared. Then the real fight began. To Raffi, the flame in the tide. One serpent lunged for Raffi, snapping with enough force to cleave a mountain. Raffi slammed his fists together. Steam burst outward. Ignition mode level 2. His skin flushed red, every vein glowing faintly. Heat radiated off him like a pressure boiler ready to erupt. He vanished. Reappeared on top of the serpent's head mid-fall. Hey! Big fish! He punched straight downward. Boom! The serpent's skull dented inward. Water exploded. Raffi kicked off the collapsing head, flipping through the air as steam blasted from his legs like thrusters. He spun. His whole body compressed. End. Ignition fist. Turbine brake. He rocketed forward, smashing the serpent into the ocean like a meteor. A massive geyser erupted. The crew watching from the cliffs cheered. Yusin shouted. Raffi just punched the sea. That should be illegal. Rovina mumbled. It probably is. 3 Kane, the sword that defies the sea. 2 water serpents circled Kane like predators. His blade hummed. Wind from the vortex dragged at his hair, but he didn't flinch. He lifted his sword. Slowly. Calmly. And pressed 2 fingers along the flat edge. Tidebreaker style third form. Depth divider. A pulse of pressure cracked the air. The serpents lunged. Kane stepped forward. 1 step. 1 swing. No sound. Only a faint shimmer. Then. Shayak. Both serpents split cleanly down the center, water exploding sideways as though a canyon had been carved through them. The sea parted behind them in a straight line stretching hundreds of meters. Kobe clung to Frank. Kane sliced the ocean in half. Why are these people like this? Frank nodded seriously. That's what swordsmen do. Kobe screamed. For Sanji 1% hyperflow. 3 serpents rushed Sanji at once, weaving together into a 3-headed tidal dragon. The ground shook under its approach. Sanji cracked his neck. His cigarette's ember glowed. His system pulsed a warning. Sanji whispered. 1% dot. His core ignited. Golden lines rippled across his veins, glowing through his shirt like divine circuitry. Wind swirled. The ground vibrated. The very air warped as his right leg heated to white-blue intensity. The tidal dragon opened its 3 jaws. Sanji vanished. And then... DOMERESONANCE. 1% hyperflow. Celestial rays. He appeared above them. He kicked once. Just once. But the sky detonated. A shockwave expanded in a perfect sphere, vaporizing the dragon instantly. Water blasted apart in all directions. The sea was carved into a massive dome-shaped crater that left the seabed exposed. Silence. Pure silence. Even Raffi froze mid-punch. Kane lowered his sword. Yusin fell over. Rovina whispered, "Is he secretly a god?" Kobe fainted. Sanji gently landed, adjusting his tie. "All right. That's 3. 5 Ludwig strikes back." But the ocean itself rose in fury. Ludwig, though battered, laughed as the waves recoiled into him. "You monsters. You dare defy the Abai." Sanji appeared in front of him mid-sentence. He kicked. Ludwig blasted backward into a whirlpool, half his armor shattering like glass. But he didn't fall. He roared, the water around him condensing into a storm pillar. Deep abyss form Leviathan King. His entire body elongated. Spines merged with the ocean. 2 giant horns formed. He became a towering humanoid sea leviathan as tall as a fortress. The sea turned black beneath him. He opened a massive maw of swirling currents. Drown. A tidal cannon fired. Straight toward the crew. Raffi stepped forward. Steam bursting. "I got this." Kane planted his foot and drew back his blade. "No, I got this." Sanji inhaled. Core humming. Golden circuitry pulsing. "I'll weaken it." "You two finish." Kane and Raffi exchanged looks. "Weaken? That thing is a tsunami laser." Sanji kicked upward. Bohuam. The tidal cannon split into 3 parts. Raffi roared, slamming into one segment with a steam-charged punch, detonating it like a bomb. Kane sliced the second segment into ribbons. The final piece arced upward harmlessly and exploded into rain. 6. The 3 monster charge. Sanji, Raffi, and Kane stood side by side. Steam rising. Sword humming. Golden circuitry pulsing. Raffi grinned. "Captain. Charge on your signal." Kane lifted his blade. "Let's finish this." Sanji exhaled. He remembered again. A small cafe back on Earth. The anime he watched. The moment he transmigrated. The vow he made. "If I ever become Sanji, I'll protect my friends no matter what." His system pulsed. He smirked. "Let's go." Raffi stepped forward. Kane to the right. Sanji to the left. And together, they launched themselves at the Leviathan like 3 streaks of light. Subchapter 11. The sky turns black. And Sanji smiles. The battlefield trembles. The antagonist Ludwig the Tide Reaver, wielder of the abyssal surge fruit, rises from the collapsing steel deck, his body wrapped in swirling black-blue currents. Water floats around him like living serpents, coiling and uncoiling with predatory hunger. Raffi and Kane are already down one knee, panting, bruised, burned, sliced. But Sanji stands perfectly straight. Dust settling. Coat fluttering. I have lit it in boredom. Raffi, how is he still clean? Kane, he dodged everything. That's cheating. Sanji, lights cigarette. Gentlemen, this is called skill. Ludwig snarls, teeth shark-like. You think you can stand against the ocean itself, cook? Sanji exhales a thin stream of smoke. No. He steps forward. But I can stand above it. The ground beneath his foot cracks like glass. The system chimes. System alert. Host has reached threshold. Battle pressure limit break. New evolution available. Soul engine. Stage 3 Tempest drive. Unlock? Yes/yes. Sanji smirks. Yes. His core ignites. Golden and blue flames spiral around him, then compress, like a storm being forced into a bottle. Hodom. Wind explodes outward. The sky literally pulls open, clouds bending as if gravity is confused. Raffi's jaw drops. Kane's eyes widen like an anime reaction meme. Kane, that's Zoro level terrifying. Raffi, he was this strong the whole time. Sanji, stronger. But I'm being polite. Varkos unleashes his true form. The villain roars. Abyssal surge, tsunami manifestation. Water rises from nothing, pure conjured abyss. A giant titan made of ocean towers above them, roaring with Varkos's voice, ready to crush everyone. Raffi gulps. Kane silently sharpens his sword out of respect for the incoming death. The water titan swings down. And Sanji is already standing on its head. They did not see him move. Not a blur. Not a step. Just there. Sanji. Your fruit's impressive. He crouches slightly. Let me show you what a real storm looks like. Tempest drive, activated. The system hums. Soul engine stage 3 Tempest drive. Physical speed multiplied x12. Kinetic kick pressure x20. Internal haki density unlocked. Aerial haki flow. Skill unlocked. Skybreaker kick method. Sanji's leg glows white-blue, wrapped in spirals of compressed air. The sheer pressure pushes clouds away in a perfect swirl. He vanishes. Boom. A shockwave of pure air pressure rips the Titan's entire torso apart. Water explodes outward like fireworks. Ludwig blinks for the first time, afraid. You broke my manifestation with air. Sanji appears right in front of him. No, I broke it with style. And kicks him straight upward. The sky fissures. Ludwig shoots upward like a comet. Sanji follows him, feet slicing the air as if walking on invisible footholds, pure mastery of his new aerial haki flow, each step leaving spiraling air rings behind. They climb through clouds. Lightning cracks. Wind bends around Sanji, not resisting him, obeying him. Final technique, heaven-shattering tempest pirouette. High above the battle, Sanji spins. Graceful. Deadly. A dancer threading storms around him. His leg becomes a drill of pure compressed atmosphere. Blue lightning chains coil around his thigh. The system whispers. Heaven-shattering, pressure output at unsafe levels. Proceed? Yes/yes. Sanji. Hell yes. He descends. The world screams as he falls like a divine spear. Ludwig tries one last desperate move. Abyssal surge, ocean eclipse. Too slow. Sanji hits him with a kick that bends light, cracking the sky with a sound like a planet splitting. Cray-ay-ay-ay-ay-ay-ay-ay-ay. A sonic boom tears through the island. A crater forms instantly, spiraling downward like a whirlpool of earth. The ground turns into a compressed bowl. The shockwave blows away every cloud in the region. Ludwig defeated. The villain lies embedded in a crater so deep it touches groundwater. Steam rises from his body. His devil fruit powers flicker and fade. Raffi and Kane stand at the edge, wind blowing their hair dramatically. Raffi, Sanji. Kane, you're a monster. Sanji dusts his gloves. I'm a cook. And then the humor kicks back in. The crater trembles. Everyone gets tense. But it's just Sanji's cigarette falling into the hole. Raffi, dear God, I thought the boss was back. Kane, why is his cigarette heavier than my sword? Sanji, stop being rude to my habits. The system rewards Sanji. As calm settles. System reward. Tempest drive resonance achieved. New passive, wind body, constant enhancement to speed and evasion. New skill, storm step, micro-teleportation using pressure points in the air. Soul engine capacity doubled. Hacky potential, advanced observation unlocked, dormant. Sanji rolls his shoulders. Good. I'll need this for the next one. Raffi gulp swallows. Kane tries to act cool but is sweating bullets. Raffi, next one? There's more. Sanji, of course. The Abyss Syndicate wouldn't send their strongest first. Raffi and Kane. We just survived a natural disaster. Crew moment after the storm. Smoke finally clears from the crater. The shaking ground settles. The air stops trembling with leftover pressure waves. And the rest of the crew. Namiya, Toru, Kobe, Rovina, Yusin. All sprint over from where they'd been watching the sky tear open like a dramatic fireworks show. Namiya, hair frizzed from static. What? What kind of cook makes a hole that reaches the underworld? She grabs Sanji's collar and shakes him like a rag doll. Sanji. Please, stop, shaking, oxygen, important. Raffi, still limping, tries to reassure her. Raffi. Namiya, calm down. This is normal for him. Namiya freezes. Then screams louder. That's even worse. Rovina's dramatic entrance. Rovina crosses her arms, hair still dancing with the lingering violet glow of her ability. Rovina. Humph. My fight was cool too. Very cool. Extremely cool. Unforgettable, really. Yusin, mouth full of snacks he definitely did not have a minute ago. Sure, but did you blow up the entire climate of the island? Rovina narrows her eyes. I did emotional damage to my opponent. That counts. Kobe being Kobe. Kobe, the cutest doctor in the seas, waddles up and pokes the ground. Kobe. This crater is scientifically impossible, and I love it. He does a little victory dance, antlers wiggling. Sanji. You gained a new ability, right? Show me. Show me so I can study it. Sanji pets his head. Maybe later. It's still cooling down. Kobe gasps. Like a volcano. Kane trying to stay cool. Kane stands with his arms folded, sword resting on his shoulder. His face carefully calm. Kane. TCH. That wasn't that impressive. The entire crew. You were crying 5 minutes ago. Kane snaps. I was sweating with my eyes. Sanji exhales the human moment. Finally, everyone settles in a broken semicircle around Sanji. He sits on the edge of the crater, cigarette hanging loosely from his lips, wind tugging at his coat. For the first time all day. He looks tired. Not physically, emotionally. He gazes at the sky briefly, the hidden transmigrator pain flickering behind his eyes. But before he sinks too deep, Namiya sits next to him, bumping his shoulder. Namiya. You saved us again, chef. Sanji. That's my job. Raffi drops down beside him as well. Raffi. It's more than your job. You're our foundation. Sanji looks away, embarrassed. Kane sits on the other side. Don't get soft. We're only alive because your kicks defy every law of physics. Yusin raises a hand. I vote we build a shrine in his honor. Rovina raises her hand too. And sacrifice snacks. Kobe jumps. I'll bring flowers. Sanji. Stop volunteering weird things. The laughter that follows. It starts as a small chuckle from Raffi. Then Yusin snorts. Then Kobe squeaks. Then Rovina's laugh echoes like a bell. And suddenly, everyone is laughing. Loud. Unrestrained. Alive. The tension breaks. The fear dissolves. For the first time since the chaos started. They're just a crew again. A weird, powerful, chaotic family. Sanji looks at them all. The laughter. The warmth. The life. And silently, he thinks. Yet. This is why I fight. Namiya's final words. Namiya nudges him again. Sanji, next time, let us help more, okay? He nods gently. Okay. I'll try. The crew cheers. Yusin. He said it. He admitted he's OP. Kane. No, he didn't, he implied it. Sanji. You're all getting half rations for dinner. The entire crew. No. And with that, the scene fades out. A crater. A broken battlefield. A victorious crew. A cook trying to stay humble. A new era approaching. And laughter echoing across the island. The afternoon sun slanted across the deck of the Star Flame, flooding the wood in molten gold. Waves rolled gently beneath her hull, gentle only because Frankie forced them to be gentle. Oi. You better not rock while I'm patchin' ye, girl. Frankie bellowed at the sea, shirt off, goggles down, tools strapped across both arms like an engineer warrior. The ocean, for reasons no science could explain, quieted. Sanji leaned against the railing, cigarette in his lips, watching the display with half a smirk. This really does feel like the anime, he thought. Frankie no. Frankie being loud, over the top, and somehow making physics obey him. Kane was doing push-ups nearby. If he screams at the ocean one more time, I'm jumping off, he grumbled. You won't, Sanji said casually. TCH. I might. Meanwhile, Yusin had already equipped earplugs. Wake me up when the yelling stops or the ship explodes, whichever happens first. Namiya stepped down from the helm, hands on hips. Frankie. How's the keel damage? Frankie stood up dramatically, wind blowing through his absurd pompadour. The keel is fine, he declared in a voice that could shatter clouds. But the forward support beams? Ruined. Destroyed by that oversized gutless temple guardian back in the sky. Kobe, clutching a notebook almost bigger than himself, waddled closer. Can I help? Maybe I can bring tools or... You bet you can. Frankie swept him up with one arm. Kobe, my boy. Today, you learn the ancient art of tightening bolts at dramatic angles. Kobe sparkled. Really? Sanji snorted. Good luck, little guy. Rovina sat at the shaded table, calmly sipping tea while her extra mirage arms unfolded around her, holding open books. Frankie's enthusiasm is admirable, she murmured. Loud. Kane barked while doing squats now. Charismatic. Frankie corrected. Now step back, everyone. It's time for the superstar flame restoration technique. Yusin groaned. There's gonna be an explosion. I just know it. Sanji exhaled smoke. If the ship blows up, we'll just fly. Raffi'll come back saying, let's go to the moon, anyway. True. Raffi suddenly screamed from the mast above, hanging upside down for reasons unknown. Muun adventure. Everyone? No. Frankie stomped on the deck once, and panels slid open, revealing compartments of tools, metal, replacement plates, and even spare decorative figureheads. Where did those come from? Namiya whispered, jaw-dropping. Shipwright secrets, Frankie said proudly. Also I installed them when nobody was looking. When? Sanji raised an eyebrow. While you all slept. All of us. Kane narrowed his eyes. Even I didn't notice, Rovana murmured, impressed. Kobe whispered in awe. He's scary. Frankie flexed his nose like a drill, pointing dramatically toward the damaged hull. Now. Let the repairs commence. Cinematic repair montage. Clunk clank were catching. Sparks flew from metal plates as Frankie welded at terrifying speeds. Kobe handed bolts like a nurse assisting a surgeon. Yusen flicked tiny screws from long distances to land perfectly in Frankie's waiting palm. Namiya held charts and precision rulers, supervising the balance of the ship. Kane hunted the heavy crates and lifted them with a grunt. Rovana used her mirage hands to smooth wood and align beams. And Sanji? Sanji cooked. A stove lit on deck, flames dancing under a wok, the scent filling the ship with warmth and power. He moved calmly among the chaos, the stabilizing force. Every time Frankie yelled, Sanji's food answered with a comforting aroma, butter, garlic, seafood, spices grounding the atmosphere. This is the one-piece life I always watched from a screen. Now I get to live it. With them. His heart felt unexpectedly warm. Close up, Frankie tightening the last bolt. There. Frankie roared triumphantly, leaping back. The star flame is as good as new. No better than new. He posed, muscles shining like polished metal. Behold her glory. The star flame gleamed, sunlight reflecting off fresh lacquer and fixed beams. The figurehead shimmered, the hull looked reborn. The crew cheered. Raffi hugged him so hard Frankie's arms wiggled like noodles. Frankie, you're amazing. Of course I am. Kobe danced around. I helped tighten bolts. I helped tighten bolts. Namiya smiled. Good work, everyone. Kane crossed his arms. Not bad. Rovana closed her book. Quite magnificent. Yusen, can we eat now? Sanji raised a platter of food, steam rising in elegant curls. Lunch is ready, ladies and idiots. Raffi screamed first. Sanji, you're the best. And the entire crew charged toward the table, laughing, shouting, and living their noisy, chaotic, perfect pirate life. Sanji exhaled one quiet thought as the wind brushed his hair. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of scene I dreamed of from the anime. And now I'm part of it. For real. Subchapter 14: The Whispering Sea and the Chef Who Sees Too Much. Cinematic emotional crew interaction. Sanji spotlight. The star flame sailed into waters that felt too calm, unnaturally calm. A stretch of ocean so smooth it reflected the sky like glass. The crew moved quieter here without even realizing why. Raffi leaned over the figurehead, eyes sparkling. Woohoo! It's shiny. Namiya held the log compass in both hands, brows furrowed. This isn't normal. The currents are wrong. There's no wind, yet we're still moving. Kane rested a hand on his sword. That's never a good sign. Sanji had already felt it long before anyone else. A subtle vibration, no, a frequency. The star flame's wooden planks hummed faintly under his feet, almost imperceptibly. His core responded, pulsing once, a slow, deliberate throb like an echo of something ancient. Something's ahead, something big. And the system feels it too. A notification flickered across his consciousness. System core resonance detected. Environmental anomaly, soul frequency distortion. Advice, stay alert. Sanji exhaled smoke. Never a break, hey. Rovina approached, her long coat fluttering slightly despite the dead wind. You feel it too, don't you, Sanji? He glanced sideways at her. Her calm eyes, those same eyes that once belonged to Nico Robin in the anime, held quiet depth. But this Rovina was different. Sharper. More attuned to the invisible world. What gave me away? Sanji smirked. The way your shoulders tense when you're pretending to relax, she replied. Sanji froze. You noticed that? Rovina smiled softly. I notice everything. Before he could reply, the sea itself spoke. A deep rumble like a voice buried beneath miles of water rolled under the ship, vibrating the keel. Frankie's head snapped up from the deck. Kobe's fur puffed out. Yusin dropped his binoculars, trembling. Raffi hung upside down from the mast again. Ooh. A sea monster. Please be a sea monster. Kane glared. Could you not wish for disasters for one day? But the rumble faded. Then silence again. Sanji stepped to the railing, cigarette smoldering. His core pulsed again, stronger this time. This is new. I've never seen this in the anime. Means I'm off the map. Means I can't rely on knowledge alone anymore. But the fear he expected didn't come. Instead, excitement. Namiya called out, land ahead. No, wait, something ahead. The fog split open, revealing nothing. Not land. Not a monster. A floating stone archway standing alone in the center of the sea, impossibly balanced on the water. Runes glowed faintly across its surface. Rovina stepped beside Sanji. This is older than the Void Century. Sanji inhaled sharply. This absolutely wasn't in the original timeline. The archway pulsed once, as if hearing them. Sanji's system reacted violently. Danger. Core resonance spike. Unknown signal. Attempting interface. Sanji grabbed the railing as a shock hit him. A vision burst behind his eyelids. Burning sky. Shattered islands. Voices calling for help. His own reflection, not as Sanji, but as him, the man he used to be. And a towering silhouette laughing in the distance, cloaked in darkness. Sanji staggered. Sanji. Namiya rushed to him. Are you okay? He forced a smile. Yeah, just dizzy. But Rovina saw everything. Her gaze lingered on him with rare concern. Kane tightened his grip on his swords. Something's coming. Raffi stepped forward, eyes blazing with excitement instead of fear. Let's go check it out. Frankie stomped forward, tools clinking across his belt. If that thing tries to sink my ship, I'll remodel the damn sea. Yusin whimpered. Can we not check it out? Kobe trembled but said. I'll heal everyone, if something happens. Sanji lit another cigarette, calm expression hiding the storm brewing inside him. Another unknown arc. Another ripple caused by my transmigration. I have to be ready, because the system is changing again. The archway pulsed. The sea responded. And something massive moved in the deep. Sanji exhaled smoke, eyes narrowing. Everyone, get ready. I've got a bad feeling about this. Raffi grinned wide. That means it's gonna be fun. The star flame drifted toward the shimmering archway, the glassy sea swallowing the horizon. The next adventure, an arc that never existed in the anime, was waiting. The star flame drifted quietly across the glowing dusk clouds, leaving the collapsing floating island far behind. The sky burned orange and purple, sparkling against the first hints of stars. The crew, exhausted, bruised, victorious, finally allowed themselves to breathe. Raffi stretched his arms above his head. All right. Party time. Sanji, cook something legendary. Namiya immediately shouted, yes. Cook. 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 I'm starving. I used so much energy screaming. Yusin pointed at her. You didn't fight. You didn't swing anything. You literally just panicked. I panicked hard, she said proudly. Rovina shook her head but couldn't hold back a smile. Kobe hopped around. Food. 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 My healing juice is running low. Kane sighed, rubbing his forehead. You people get excited too easily. But even he glanced toward the kitchen. Sanji threw his coat over his shoulder, lit a cigarette, and cracked his knuckles. TCH, you uncultured bunch. Fine. I'll show you what real cuisine tastes like. The crew cheered as he marched into the galley. Cooking the chef's fury, Sanji's cooking showcase. Inside the star flame kitchen, fire ignited like miniature suns. Knives spun. Steam rose. Aromas swirled through the entire ship like a heavenly spell. Sanji moved with precision and elegance, his black coat trailing behind him as if the air itself danced to his rhythm. He chopped vegetables with flashing speed. Pan-seared skyfish with herbs. Simmered glowing cloud broth. Stir-fried thunder leaf greens that crackled faintly with natural electricity. And then... Fwoosh. Blue flames swirled from his heel as he ignited the main pot with a graceful spinning kick. Skyfire reduction technique, he murmured. Raffi peeked inside. Bro, why is your cooking on fire? It's called skill. Something you wouldn't understand. Raffi puffed up. Hey. I have skill. Kobe shook his head in pity. Your skill is breaking things accidentally. Raffi pointed dramatically. That's a useful talent. Crash. He knocked over Frankie's wrench bin. The entire ship vibrated. Frankie stormed in. Raffi. Those were organized by color. You organize metal by color. Of course. It's the only logical way. Rovina appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. If all of you don't stop yelling, Sanji will burn every dish and we'll all starve. Instant silence. Sanji smirked. Good. Now sit tight. Dinner's coming. The grand feast. The dining table overflowed with dishes. Skyfish steak glazed in citrus cloud reduction. Lightning leaf sautéed greens that sparked lightly. Warm, soft sky bread infused with honey mist. A giant steaming pot of cloud storm stew, thick, savory, rich. The crew stared like they were gazing at treasure. Nami drooled openly. I'm gonna faint. Raffi wiped tears. It's so beautiful. Yusin whispered, I've never seen food that glows. Kobe climbed onto a chair. Everyone eat. I can revive you if you die from deliciousness. Kane looked at Sanji with a rare soft grin. Good job, cook. Sanji shrugged, but his faint smirk betrayed his pride. Eat before it gets cold. And they did. Comedy breakdown, pure crew chaos. Nami versus spicy vegetables. It's spicy. Why do the leaves electrocute you? Sanji, because you grabbed the wrong dish, idiot. Raffi, just drink water. Yusin, no, don't, that makes it worse. Zap. Nami shook like a toaster. Rovina's very serious evaluation. She tasted the skyfish, eyes narrowing like a food critic. Perfect sear. Balanced flavors. The technique is flawless. Sanji smiled. Until. But the garnish placement is asymmetrical. Sanji froze. What? The garnish. Look. This side has 0.5 centimeters more spacing than the other. Sanji dropped to his knees in dramatic despair. I am a failure as a chef. Kobe patted his shoulder. It's okay. Imperfection is human. Yusin's attempt at sophisticated dining. Yusin held his fork upright. I will eat with elegance. He tried cutting his lightning leaf greens. Zap. He face planted into the stew. Raffi exploded into laughter. Ha 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 ha. Kobe healed his burned nose. Kane's unexpected weakness. Kane took a sip of Sanji's hot tea and instantly choked. Rovina blinked. Kane, you can take sword wounds, but not hot tea. It's too hot. Glowing star, the calmer moment, Sanji's awakening. As laughter echoed across the deck, Sanji stepped aside, leaning against the railing. The night sky spread across the horizon, deep navy, dotted with stars. The sea shimmered far below. He exhaled a quiet breath. Then, the system chimed. A shifting, pulsing glow from within his chest, deeper than before. System update, second evolution initiated. Germa combat core. Resonance detected. Unknown soul signature detected. Haki synchronization, 52%. Warning, evolution may alter physical limitations. Do you wish to proceed? Sanji's breath hitched. His hand trembled slightly, not from fear, but from anticipation. A memory from his old world flashed. If this world follows the path I knew, more monsters are coming. Stronger than anything we've fought. I can't fall behind. Not again. He clenched his fist. But just as he whispered yes, someone gently tapped his shoulder. Rovina. Sanji. The party's not the same without the cook. He blinked. Her calm eyes studied him, not prying, just understanding. He smirked lightly. Fine. But don't blame me if they start dancing on the table. They already are. They looked back. Raffi was doing backflips. Kobe was cheering. Yusin was being used as a jump rope. Namiya had eaten too much and was lying dead on the floor. Frankie was dancing like a robot. Sanji laughed softly. The systems panel flickered again. Awaiting confirmation. He inhaled. Not yet. He closed it. Soon. But not tonight. Tonight was for them. He walked back to the crew as their laughter echoed across the sky. Subchapter 11, Whispers Under the Lanterns. The night after the victory feast stretched across the Star Flames deck like a warm blanket, lanterns swaying gently, casting gold shadows across weathered wood and sleepy faces. The sky was calm, slow waves tapping the ship like a heartbeat. Raffi was asleep, half hanging out of a hammock. Yusin snored upside down on the railing, muttering battle stories even while unconscious. Kobe curled on top of the snack barrel like a plush, furry cap. Kane meditated alone, swords resting across his legs, the blue lantern light brushing his face with a warrior's calm. And somewhere near the heart of the ship, Sanji stood at the stove. His coat off, sleeves rolled up, collar loose. Steam rolled across the deck like a stage curtain opening, unveiling the chef in his natural domain. His knives gleamed under the lantern flames like silver fangs. He wasn't cooking for the crew. Not tonight. He was cooking for two. 2 bowls. 2 plates. 2 small desserts. His system core hummed lightly inside his chest, like a heartbeat synced with the ship's rhythm. System core level, steady evolution mode. Unconscious intent, courtship detected. Adaptive response, enhancing culinary precision. Sanji stiffened, brows twitching. Shut up, he whispered to himself. I'm cooking. Not courting. His core hummed again, unimpressed. From behind him, footsteps approached, one light, impatient, familiar. Namiya. Sanji. Her voice floated in like a breeze. Are you cooking again? Right after feeding the entire crew? Are you trying to kill yourself or show off? Sanji turned with the smooth elegance only a Vinsmoke body and a transmigrator soul could balance. He smiled like sunlight bending. Nami Yaswaye, on these are just small snacks. Fuel for the hard-working, brilliant, beautiful navigator of the Star Flame. I can't let you starve, right? Her face instantly bloomed red. I'm not starving. I just wanted to Check if you burned the ship down. Sanji leaned one arm above her on the mast, leaning in just enough for her breath to catch. I'd never burn anything when you're watching. Namiya nearly combusted. But before she could recover, footsteps. Slower. Softer. Controlled. Rowena. She stepped into the lantern light with calm grace, cloak swaying behind her, dark eyes taking in the scene without a flicker of jealousy but with unmistakable awareness. So this is where you slipped off to, she said in her velvet tone. We felt warmth from the deck. You're cooking more. Namiya straightened, overly casual. Oh, obviously. He's cooking something disgusting and I came to scold him. Sanji set the plates down. 2 perfect portions. 2 hand-picked decorations. 2 gentle swirls of sauce that spelled subtle, romantic energy without being explicit. Rowena's eyes softened. You made 2 servings, she noted. Sanji froze, soul leaving his body for a brief second. Namiya jumped in like a cannonball. For both of us, day. For both of you, Sanji repeated, nodding too quickly. Rowena stepped closer, so close her shoulder brushed Sanji's lightly, unintentional but electric. She studied the plate, then him, her voice brushing softly. You tailor-made these. One with citrus notes, my favorite. And the other. Namiya's favorite spice blend. You remembered. Namiya blinked. Rowena was right. Sanji's transmigrator brain screamed. Of course I remembered. I saw your preferences in the anime. But I can't say that. He forced a grin. A chef always remembers his ladies' tastes. Namiya exploded again. Rowena smiled, soft and warm, almost too warm. But then, a strong gust swept the deck. Lanterns flickered. Shadows lengthened. Sanji's smile shifted. His core hummed louder. For a moment, the world blurred, not physically, but in a sensory, instinctive way. His observation haki surged. The system responded. New subsystem awakening. Empathic intuition initialization. You can now sense emotional fluctuations within 3 meters. Warning, using this on romance targets may cause mental overload. Sanji blinked. Oh no. His new emergent sense whispered in his mind. Namiya nervous? Excited? A little jealous? Rowena calm, affection, curiosity, slight longing. Both aimed at him. He almost coughed blood. Raffi yelled from across the deck, half awake in a hammock. Oi. Sanji. Stop being hot. Some of us are trying to sleep. Namiya and Rowena whipped around, embarrassed. Sanji exhaled deeply, rubbing his forehead. Damn it, what a ridiculous ability to awaken now. But he set the dishes down between them, as gracefully as any royal chef. Namiya's fingers brushed his when she took her plate. Rowena's touched his briefly, yet gently lingering for a heartbeat. Sanji's core glowed. Observation haki flared softly. Both girls felt the warmth. Not from the lanterns. Not from the food. But from him. He straightened, exhaling a gentle puff of smoke. Eat well, ladies. You deserve it. The girls sat side by side. The lanterns swayed above them. Sanji leaned against the mast, watching the calm sea, pretending to be relaxed. But secretly struggling to breathe normally. He'd survived battles. He'd survived CP9. He'd survived ancient guardians. But this. 2 beautiful women, both of whom he cared about deeply. And both unknowingly tugging at his heart. Was a far more dangerous battlefield. He lit a cigarette with trembling fingers. This world, this story, this crew. I didn't think romance would be part of it. But, maybe this is part of my new life too. The ship drifted under the moon, carrying laughter, warmth, and complicated feelings. The lanterns flickered. And the love triangle quietly, officially began.